Hello everybody, welcome to 5 Live Sports Extra's coverage of these League Cup quarter-final games, and we are here tonight at a wet and wild St Mary's, and that isn't just the weather either. Southampton have had a very rocky 72 hours. They've dismissed their manager Russell Martin, so in interim charge tonight Simon Rusk, and what an interim game it is for him to look after as well. Southampton hosting the team at the very top of the Premier League table, Liverpool, here at St Mary's for a place in the semi-final of this competition. I'm Chris Wise. The former Southampton defender Franny Benali is alongside me, who spent many years playing for Southampton in the Premier League. Franny, before we talk about the game, let's just get a word on what's been going on at Southampton over these last few days. The dismissal of Russell Martin after that heavy defeat against Tottenham on Sunday evening perhaps didn't shock too many of us in the end.
No, good evening, Chris. It's great to join you this evening. I guess when that first half performance and scoreline that we saw against Spurs, I guess in some ways there was no coming back from that, was there? It was just the worst start possible, going a goal down after literally a matter of seconds, and it could have been a lot worse. Spurs probably eased off a little bit second half. Saints got a little bit better, but there's been that growing discontent, I think, amongst the home supporters, and there were certain sections that were quite vocal in their displeasure at the Spurs game, and I guess there was always going to come that point that the sort of directorship and the ownership were going to make that decision, and they've made that now. And Simon Rusk coming in tonight, he'll clearly just be in an interim position, and it's something that's a role that I think the club have got to sort of replace and act on very, very quickly.
Well, the two teams are out on the pitch. Those customary pre-match handshakes are taking place right now between the Southampton and the Liverpool players. The Liverpool players who are in their lime green tracksuit tops with the black sleeves, and it is a much changed Liverpool team tonight as well. I'll give you the teams in full in just a moment, but the headline news for Southampton is 3 changes from that Spurs defeat. For Liverpool, it's only 3 players that remain in the team from their draw with Fulham at the weekend, and those players are Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez and Cody Gakpo. So for Liverpool tonight, not only not in the squad at all, not just not in the team, Salah, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Diaz, none of them are here this evening, Franny Benali. So this is a different Liverpool team. It doesn't necessarily weaken them too much because they've got great quality, but it is a different Liverpool team.
It is, Chris, you're right. Yeah, I think there's always going to be those opportunities for management to tweak the lineups, and that's always going to be the case when you've got a club like Liverpool pushing on all fronts, and the sheer workload that they're going through, and it's a time of year where there's a huge amount of football coming up as well. So managers are very mindful of giving players an opportunity to rest them if they can. And Arne Slot has obviously looked at this fixture and thought that's an opportunity to rest a few players, bring some back that haven't figured an awful lot, and give 1 or 2 a debut as well. So there'll still be quality, they'll still have strength, but as a Southampton perspective, that will give them a little glimmer of hope, I think, from a one-off game tonight.
There's 3 Southampton mascots and a Liverpool mascot, all obviously small children in the centre circle at the moment, in their shirts and their shorts, and I can see even from our vantage point here that they are shivering away down there, stood with the officials tonight, and the 2 respective captains, Alex McCarthy of Southampton and Trent Alexander-Arnold. The rain is sweeping and swirling around the stadium. There's lots of wind as well. It's one of those sort of typically December nights, really, where it's fine if you've got a coat on and you're covered up like we are, but to be down there, those conditions will affect the way this game is played this evening. Most
definitely, Chris. You talk about the conditions, and you can literally just see it. With the swirling rain that's coming in, it's not just coming down. There's that wind that's whipping it up as well. So that could play a factor in potentially a mistake or a goalkeeping error. So certainly one to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, so we've seen lots of white flags that have been waved around by various ball boys that are now put away, which have the words "We March On" now one of the Southampton slogans, and the 2 teams have come out from their huddles, Southampton and Liverpool, and we are pretty much set to go. Bang on 8 o'clock. Carabao Cup quarter-final night under the lights at St Mary's. Southampton 20th in the Premier League and Liverpool at the summit, and it's going to be Saints who get us underway in this first half. They're kicking off with Mateus Fernandes going from right to left. Away we go, and let me give you the two teams. For Southampton, McCarthy in goal, Harwood, Bellis, Woods and Bednarek as the three centre halves. There's a long ball forward down the left channel, immediately brings Southampton a free kick. Cameron Archer bumped into by Jarell Quansah. So before I continue with that Saints team, let's just talk about this opportunity, Franny, because we're 20 seconds in and Saints have got a free kick here just outside the box left of the penalty area. Yeah,
no messing around. Ball going back to Taylor Harwood-Bellis and just playing it diagonally long into Liverpool's last third or defending third, and the foul being given to Cameron Archer, and it's an opportunity for either Ryan Manning or Fernandes to whip a ball in the opening seconds.
Yeah, so let's see which of the two it's going to be. It's going to be Manning with his left foot. It's up towards that far post. It's a bit too high for Harwood-Bellis, who got up off the ground. There was nobody marking him, but he couldn't get his head on the ball, and Liverpool pick it up again just outside their penalty area. So Southampton 0, Liverpool 0. A minute played here, League Cup quarter-final evening. Let me complete those teams for you. I'll start with Saints again. McCarthy, Harwood-Bellis, Wood and Bednarek, the three centre-halves. Bree and Manning, the wing-backs. And then Aribo, Downs, Fernandes, Dibbling and Archer leading the line. And for Liverpool, as we said, 8 changes from the weekend. So only Alexander-Arnold, Gomez and Gakpo stay in the team. Kelleher in goal. And Alexander-Arnold and Gomez the fullbacks, Quansah and Endo the two centre-halves. So Wataru Endo stepping into play in that centre-back role for Liverpool this evening. Morton in midfield with McAllister, and then Gakpo, Nioni, Elliott on the right-hand side, and Darwin Núñez leading the Liverpool forward line. Harvey Elliott making his first start of the season for Liverpool. Trey Nioni making his very first Liverpool start ever, the 17-year-old. So I'm sure there's great Liverpool interest as to how he might get on this evening. Liverpool still got the ball, by the way, 15 yards inside their own half. Yeah,
magical for any player, isn't it, making their debut, and special moments, special memories. But even if he's a young player, you want to be coming in, you want to do well, and you want to get off to a winning start.
Here is Mawson, Tyler Mawson, into the feet of Joe Gomez. And now Naoni, the 17-year-old, trying to drive it through the gap in Southampton's midfield. Cut out by Flynn Downs. Picked up again by Naoni, who immediately has that sort of wiry look about him, doesn't he? He's quite slight with his thin legs, his red boots on this evening, as Alexander-Arnold on this near right-hand side gives it to Harvey Elliott, and it's back in field for Mawson, and Liverpool rebuild again as they work it towards Joe Gomez on the halfway line, up towards the feet of Naoni, further still towards that left-hand side. Darwin Núñez is lurking at the moment on the edge of Southampton's penalty area. The ball in towards McAllister, intercepted by Downs, and then Saints get it back with Fernandes, who wants to try and shift it quickly into the feet of Dibbling, on by Aribo, up towards Archer on the halfway line, and he has got Southampton a throw. 3 minutes in, 0-0. Franny Benali.
Yeah, just looking at if there's any real obvious changes sort of with the Southampton team and the way that they're going about their play, with Simon Rusk being in that interim position, and whether he's done anything a slightly different setup wise to what Russell Martin may have done. But good opening stages from Southampton. We've got the similar sort of format shape wise and setup wise from the Saints players, but it's difficult conditions, I'm sure, but they've made a half decent start, certainly better than the game that they did against Spurs in their last match. That
rain is absolutely streaming down on the south coast this evening as McCarthy sends the ball out of play. The Southampton goalkeeper, the captain, for a Liverpool throw on this right hand side. Southampton 0, Liverpool 0, and as perhaps you would expect, plenty of domination from the team that are at the top of the Premier League, a team that are 19 games unbeaten in all competitions and have beaten West Ham and Brighton and Hove Albion to get to this point. A high ball forward which Gakpo has chased into the Southampton penalty area on the left hand side. He's been forced out of the box, he's given it to Naoni. Naoni's cross into the middle, headed away by Bednarek, and then helped up the field for Southampton, and there's a bit of a cheer from the St Mary's crowd, and I'll tell you why that might be, Franny Benali, because Southampton weren't trying to play out there. They recognised the danger and they've clobbered it away.
Yeah, a little bit of an ironic sort of a little bit of sarcasm maybe, but the cheer just for a no-nonsense, clear your lines, just don't give yourself an issue or problem in those kind of areas, and it got that reaction from the crowd. But Southampton settling into the game quite well.
Fernandez trying to get it towards Archer. It somehow got through to him. Endo took his eye off the ball and it eked underneath his studs, but he's now the one with the ball back again for Liverpool, going from left to right in their away strip of the all dark kit with the green trim. And here's Alexander-Arnold, who is the Liverpool right back this evening. There was some speculation as to whether he might be the left back and Joe Gomez might play on the right side, but it is definitely Alexander-Arnold in his most familiar position, as Harvey Elliott's looped ball forward up to the edge of Southampton's penalty area is headed away, collected by Woods, given to Bednarek. Here's Harwood Bellis, he's on the edge of his box and he's had to quickly play it out to that right hand side for James Bree, and you can see the water skipping up off the St Mary's surface as well, as the ball is cleared up towards Cameron Archer on the halfway line. Kwanzaa for company, the Liverpool centre half, and it's bounced off Archer and it's out for a Liverpool throw, far left hand side, 0-0.
Yeah, just seeing James Bree getting a touch of the ball there, coming in for Carl Walker-Peters, as you mentioned in the intro, Chris, but a player that's quite pleased with how this competition's gone so far already this season, scoring in a couple of ties as well, an important goal in the last 16 as well to put Saints through when they played Stoke City here at St Mary's, so they'll be hoping that he can replicate something like that again here tonight. Yeah,
that goal, by the way, prevented the game essentially from going to penalties. It was right at the end, wasn't it, to win it for Saints by 3-2. They've beaten Cardiff City and Everton along the way, Southampton, as well as that victory over Stoke City. And here tonight they are playing the team that are the most in form really of anyone in that elite 20 right now, Liverpool. Without Arne Slot on the touchline tonight, the Liverpool boss serving a touchline ban, so Sipke Holshoff, his assistant, who he's been with since about 2016, is stood down there at the moment with his puffer jacket on, his arms folded. And Simon Russ, the temporary Southampton manager, looks soaking wet already as he stretches his arms out either side to ask Southampton to move this ball quickly, which they do, out towards Manning on this near left-hand side. He's coming infield, he's gone through the legs of McAllister to get it to Flynn Downs, and is back on the halfway line with Jan Bednarek. Just over 7 minutes played, 0-0. That's a piercing pass, but the flag is up. Southampton thought they were going to scamper away there with James Bree, but the assistant referee was quick to raise his yellow flag on the opposite side to us. So Liverpool free kick, Southampton 0, Liverpool 0.
Yeah, we don't always see the officials put their flags up too quick, but a clear and obvious offside there. James Bree looking to get in behind, and that's going to be one of the strengths, I think, for Southampton. It's important for Ryan Manning with those three centre halves at the back. Ryan Manning on the left, James Bree on the right, looking to get forward to create some supply for the strikers in the box.
Well, they really need to make sure they keep it tight down the other end, Southampton, tonight as well. Last 3 home games for Saints, they've conceded 13 goals, 3 against Liverpool, 5 against Chelsea, 5 against Spurs at the weekend. But 8 minutes in, they haven't conceded against Liverpool here so far tonight in this League Cup quarter-final game. And remember, it is no extra time still at this stage. That will be the case in the semi-final, but this is the last round where we won't have extra time, so it would be straight to spot kicks if needed this evening.
I don't know if I've got the blood pressure for penalties. I cast my mind back. It wasn't that long ago that we played Liverpool over 2 legs in this competition to progress through to the final, wasn't it? Sort of managing to keep Liverpool shut out in both games as well, and scoring a late winner at Anfield to send us through to the final. Yeah,
2017 wasn't it, when Southampton won 1-0 here, 1-0 at Anfield as well. 2-time League Cup finalists Southampton. They've lost both of them by 3-2, by the way. One to Nottingham Forest back in the late 70s, and then against Manchester United that year in 2017. And they're playing the team who've won this competition the most times in history tonight, Liverpool, with their 10 trophies in this competition. And Liverpool on the ball now with Joe Gomez, who's slowly trotting forward. He's about 20 yards inside Southampton's half. He gets it back off Nioni and just has a glance around Joe Gomez to see what else is available. He's started the last 4 now for Liverpool, last 3 in the Premier League in Ibrahim Konate's absence. There's a run from Gakpo, brings a corner from the challenge from James Bree, so a first corner for Liverpool, first corner of the game as we move up towards the 10-minute mark on the opposite side to us, the very far left.
Yep, Koda Gakpo, one of those players that stayed in the the starting lineup, as you mentioned, Chris, again, a real force and striking threat for Liverpool. Dangerous goal scorer, direct.
Well, the way this wind is blowing, this corner could really go anywhere, because it is spinning around inside that Southampton penalty area as McAllister takes this corner from the left. It's bounced inside the 6-yard box, nobody got a touch on it, and it's exited out the other side, and it's a Southampton goal kick.
Yeah, an interesting setup from the Liverpool players there. There's about 5 or 6 players right starting off at the far post, all made a run towards the near post with a runner from deep hoping to find that bit of space at the far post. But as you say, just anything that's sort of hit with distance and certainly put up into the air, it's going to get caught up in the conditions tonight.
So McCarthy's going to take this Southampton goal kick in all green. It's a long ball upfield towards Aribo, won initially by Alexander-Arnold, the Liverpool captain, and then back Manning goes to Wood. Wood's going to go all the way back to McCarthy, and McCarthy has picked out Mateus Fernandes halfway inside his own half. And Fernandes, who scored his first Premier League goal against Liverpool a few weeks ago here in that 3-2 win for Liverpool against Saints, is back in Southampton's penalty area once more with Bednarek, who just had to backtrack a couple of yards to keep possession. And here's Nathan Wood, and then Aribo under a bit of pressure has lofted the ball out of play. So Liverpool throw on the right hand side, 0-0.
Southampton not really able to get out of their own half, but what you might have heard and picked up on the microphones was, again, the supporters cheering. One, the fact that Alex McCarthy, when he had a goal kick, kicked it towards the strikers instead of playing sideways to his centre halves as we would have seen under Russell Martin. And then when the ball went back to him again, there was no looking to pick out his defenders, it was just trying to clip the ball forward. And that's clearly something that Simon Rusk and his team has made an obvious change to what we would have seen under a Russell Martin side.
Yeah, and Arne Slot saying this week in his press conference that he didn't know what to expect from Southampton tonight because they changed Russell Martin. He said it could be a completely different style, and it's certainly got rather obvious differences as Darwin Núñez wins the header on the edge of the box, but under pressure it bounces off his head and through to the goalkeeper Alex McCarthy.
McCarthy in for the injured Aaron Ramsdale. Gavin Bazunu out with an Achilles injury as well, but Joe Lumley, when he's come in for a few Premier League games, has done pretty well.
Lost the ball here, Southampton, into the penalty area from Alexander-Arnold. It was a good ball, and actually a decent bit of defending as well from Harwood Bellis to send it out of play to this near right hand side. So Tyler Morton's got the ball in his hand, the 22-year-old Liverpool midfielder who's started a League Cup game already this season against Brighton. He came off the bench against West Ham as well in their latest game, but they are his only appearances for Liverpool this season. Hasn't played in the Premier League, hasn't played in Europe either. And here is Kwanzaa giving it to Gomez just inside Southampton's half, 0-0 between Saints and Liverpool. But there's a lot of Liverpool ball at the moment, and pressure that is building on Southampton's defence as they're clipped cross into the box looking for McAllister, who'd made the darting run, but the pass couldn't find him. It was too high from Gakpo, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, just a little bit overhit from Gakpo, but what we see on many occasions, driving at his defender, cutting inside onto his right foot, and he just tried clipping it to the far post to try and find McAllister and the runners, but not for the first time. I think we might see 1 or 2 passes going astray this evening.
I think you could have had Alexis McAllister on top of Alexis McAllister and he still wouldn't have got to that. That was far too high from Cody Gakpo. So goal kick taken by Alex McCarthy. That has got caught up in the wind. You could see it suddenly got a bit of pace on it as it dropped towards Aribo, who's flicked it on for Archer, who's trying to bundle his way through. And eventually, between Alexander and Arnold and Kwanzaa, they sort themselves out, the Liverpool defenders, because there was a moment there where there was panic. And again, a bit of hard work from Fernandes to challenge Alexander-Arnold, put him under some pressure. Ball out off the Southampton man, Liverpool throw.
Yeah, it was far from convincing from the 2 Liverpool defenders, wasn't it? Cameron Archer just hoping that he was going to get that final touch, which would have seen him race in with a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but Liverpool coming away with it once again.
And Leone is the one who's bringing it forward, the teenager, with the ball glued to his feet, effortlessly moving into Southampton's half. He's played a 1-2, he's got it back again here, Leone, and then he rather scuffed his ball that was aimed for Núñez, and is hacked away by Harwood Bellis to that far left-hand side, the left wing that Liverpool are attacking Southampton's right back area for a Liverpool throw in towards the feet of Leone. who's shown some beautiful touches already, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's almost like playing in first gear, isn't he?
Isn't he just? McAllister. Nunez for Liverpool shoots way over the top of the bar. Now that might have been wind assisted from Darwin Nunez, but even so it was far too high. And in the meantime, Alexis McAllister's ended up on the ground here. He thought he was blocked off by Nathan Wood, but no free kick's been given. It's a Southampton goal kick.
Yeah, McAllister back to his feet. I don't think there's a huge amount of that. We see it so often. Defenders will just look to try and block a run. Nunez shot, just in case he was looking to get the return pass. But yeah, coming back to young Trey Nyoni, looks very calm, very composed. No, certainly nerves from the youngster, looking to get on the ball as often as he can in these early stages.
Yeah, first Liverpool start tonight. There he is, showing a bit of muscle again in midfield. He's got Liverpool a free kick here from his initial work. Gakpo's been knocked over. Liverpool have got on with it quickly. He only sort of plays almost as if he's playing the cage football, doesn't he? He just looks so relaxed when he's got the ball at his feet. 16 minutes in, Southampton 0, Liverpool 0. Elsewhere tonight, there are two of the other quarter-finals taking place this evening. Newcastle are 1-0 up against Brentford. Sandro Tonali's got the goal for Eddie Howe's team. That was a 7:45 kickoff. That's live right now on 5 Live. And they're just about to get to half-time at the Emirates, and it's Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1. Jean-Philippe Mateta with the early goal for Crystal Palace in that all-London quarter-final. And Spurs against Manchester United to come tomorrow. We'll have full live commentary of that one for you. The last of the 4 quarter-finals on 5 Live. That one is an 8 o'clock start tomorrow, so make sure you're with us for all the build-up from 7. As Manning plays it into the feet of Fernandes, and now Downs for Southampton. And all of this at the moment on the edge of their penalty area. And then Harwood Bellis misjudges the bouncing ball. Side puts it out of play for a Liverpool throw halfway inside Southampton's half on the left.
Yeah, just a miscue from Harwood Bellis. Ball bouncing, just trying to lift it over to his right back, James Bree. We've just seen the referee, almost like he's been asked, it's just a drop ball, restarting the game.
Yeah, Simon Hooper, man in charge this evening. You might be able to hear the wind being picked up on our effects mic here. Here's Harvey Elliott. Hasn't seen too much of the ball so far in this game. The short frame of Harvey Elliott, youngest player ever to play in this competition. It wasn't for Liverpool, it was for Fulham. He made his debut at 15 years old, which is quite extraordinary. Here's the 17-year-old Nyoni for Liverpool. Hasn't got that pass right for Gakpo. Tried to slide it in behind Bree and Harwood Bellis, and he's put too much on it. Out of play for a goal kick. So Southampton 0, Liverpool 0. But the pattern of the game, Franny Benali, feels much like we anticipated it might.
Yeah, I don't think it was going to be hugely different from what we're seeing, Chris, as you touch on. Again, just coming back to Southampton, the centre halves are set up as they would have been all season, but I've got a feeling Alex McCarthy is going to kick again. There he goes, trying to go long to find Joe Aribo, and it gets Southampton up the pitch a lot quicker than what we've seen largely this season.
There's Fernandes running into Endo. The ball's dropped to Nyoni, who's given it to Gakpo, who sends it on for Nunez, and a good strong challenge from Jan Bednarek, using all his experience, the pole in Southampton's defence, to slide in and career that ball out for a Liverpool throw.
Timely tackle, perfectly timed, last man, clean strike with the ball, but certainly impressed with Nyoni in these early stages. It's very noticeable on the pitch with his bright orange boots, but his socks down round his ankles, like we see a few players nowadays, but just seems to be sort of trotting around the pitch, very relaxed, very calm. And we've seen an array of passes already that seems very comfortable in possession of the football, as you would expect for a player.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, 8 changes from Liverpool tonight. Southampton had given that ball away. They needed to hurry to get it forward. Now they've got it forward. They've got a 3-on-2 situation here. Fernandes halfway inside Liverpool's half. Support to the right of him from Dibbling. Dibbling's in the box. Dibbling pokes it towards goal, and Kelleher was unmoved. The Liverpool keeper read what Dibbling was going to do and collects the ball at his feet.
Yeah, talking about youngsters that get players out of their seats, or supporters should I say. Tyler Dibbling's one of those players for Southampton, and the first time he's really had an opportunity to drive at Gomez, but he got a little bit of support from his teammate Tyler Morton, and ended up with Dibbling just trying to toe poke the ball past Kelleher. I think he's going to have to be a bit of a better effort to that to get on the score sheet this evening.
Did have one, and actually in that very net as well, his Premier League goal against Ipswich a few months ago, as Alexander-Arnold trying a crossfield pass which is intercepted initially by Dibbling, and eventually it's with Downs, and now it's with Dibbling again, who's scampered out of the way of a couple of Liverpool challenges to get it on for Wood, and now out to this near left hand side for Manning. 0-0 as Manning tries to pick out Archer with a floated ball forward, and it's buzzed all the way through to Kelleher in the Liverpool goal, and he's bowled it out towards Gomez. Just over 20 minutes played. Southampton 0, Liverpool 0 here on 5 Live Sports Extra, and the former Southampton defender Franny Benali part of our commentary team this evening.
Well, with 20 minutes gone, Chris, I'm quite pleased to see Southampton keeping a clean sheet, given the start that they had against Spurs, and a few little differences that we've seen under Russell Martin, being a little bit more direct in their play, trying to go forward that little bit earlier, not quite so many passes within their own half, and certainly been a discussion, I think, from the interim manager Simon Russ to just play the percentages a little bit more, clear your lines if you're in any doubt whatsoever, rather than looking to get that extra pass in.
Liverpool with Gakpo at the ball at his feet on the far left hand side. It's almost back on the halfway line now with Endo. Simon Russ saying this week that it's a great honour to be taking charge of Southampton tonight, that he can't be too emotional though about the whole occasion and the opportunity. There's no real feeling he's going to be given this job on a permanent basis. A few names that have been linked to the job: Carlos Corberán, the West Brom manager, Danny Roll, who of course was here as Ralph Hasenhutl's assistant, now in charge of Sheffield Wednesday, and Kasper Hjulmand as well, the most recently Danish manager of the national team. They're all names that have been in the press of late. Wonder whether Saints will have a new man in charge on Sunday when they head to Craven Cottage to take on Fulham in the Premier League, to try and get themselves out of the position that they find themselves right in, down at the bottom. 9 points right now from Premier League safety Southampton. Got a free kick here just inside their own half from the left hand side. Midway point reached of this first period at St Mary's, as Manning sends a high ball forward. The referee has seen something that's happened off the ball there, involving Endo, who is down, and maybe Dibbling, was it Franny Benali who was alongside him? There
was a massive players, wasn't there? And I think Endo's run into Tyler Dibbling, who has stood still, just stood his ground, maybe looking to make a bit of a block, but there wasn't a huge amount of contact, I don't think. But the referee, feeling there was some sort of obstruction, awarding a free kick to Liverpool.
Didn't look too dissimilar. I don't know if you saw the one that involved Mark Cucurella for Chelsea against Brentford at the weekend, where he bought a very late free kick for Chelsea with no contact at all. It felt a bit like that, really. But Southampton have got the ball back anyway. Here is Dibbling, who's got a surprisingly tall frame, actually. Tries to push it through for Archer, and now Alexander-Arnold spins away from both Archer and Fernandez, and then pushes it through for Nunez, and McCarthy hasn't come for it, and then he slips, and Nunez scores. And just like that, Liverpool lead. Darwin Nunez puts his finger to his lips to hush the crowd. He's scored for the Premier League leaders, Darwin Nunez. Cool finish after a long ball over the top, took a deflection. McCarthy caught in two minds, didn't know whether to come for it or not, the Southampton goalkeeper, and then I think he lost his balance, and Nunez kept his head and he fires it low into the corner, and it's Southampton 0, Liverpool 1.
Well, firstly, you've got to say it was a wonderful piece of football from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He had two players around him. He turned. He does so well to get away from Archer and Fernandez, and then he drives forward into the centre circle, and then he clips the ball. There's a hint of offside, but it's not, and then it's the touch off Bednarek. The ball would have probably gone through to McCarthy. The ball loops up to Nunez, who's in one-on-one with McCarthy, and he does so well to keep his composure. It's looped up, Taylor Harwood-Bellis is nowhere near, and then there's that slight slip, as you say, Chris, with McCarthy's right boot on these wet, slippery conditions. He can't get to the ball, and Nunez just tucks it home to give the visitors the lead.
First goal in 7 for Darwin Nunez. He really needed that. He's come in for a fair bit of criticism in recent weeks from some Liverpool supporters, and even Arne Slot was talking about him recently in a post-match press conference, effectively saying that he needed a bit more from his Liverpool forward. Well, that was a very calm finish from Darwin Núñez for his 4th of the season, and Southampton 0, Liverpool 1 is the scoreline in this League Cup quarter-final. And in truth, it's the first significant chance for Liverpool in this entire game.
Yeah, and they've punished Southampton for it, isn't it? You know, got a bit fortunate with that touch off Bednarek. As I mentioned, the ball would have probably ran through, especially on this greasy surface, had there been no contact from Bednarek, but it just took the pace out of the ball, enabled Núñez to compose himself in that central one-on-one position, and as soon as Alex McCarthy slipped, there was only going to be one outcome.
Sort of made the mind up, really, didn't it, for Darwin Núñez once McCarthy had lost his balance. Here is Joe Gomez for Liverpool, and all the noise now coming from the Liverpool away end, which is on the opposite side to us, on the far left-hand corner from where we're looking now. Liverpool going from left to right, coming at Southampton again here. And what's the decision there as Bree and Gakpo challenge for the ball? I think a corner's been given by Simon Hooper.
I'm just wondering if he might have given the free kick. Gakpo certainly felt that there was a foul. Bree trying to stop him. There's not any contact from Bree whatsoever, but he's won the free kick. He's managed to convince the referee that it was a foul. But just having a quick glimpse at it again, I think Southampton were a little bit hard done by on that decision.
Okay, so Liverpool with a 1-0 lead at Southampton. 26 minutes played here. And they've got a free kick which they've taken short. It's come to the edge of the penalty area. Lifted in by Alexander-Arnold. It's bounced through, it nearly sat for Gomez, and now it's back 20 yards outside of the box at the feet of Nioni. To Alexander-Arnold, into Alexis McAllister, who's back to play tonight from suspension for Liverpool. It's a much changed Liverpool team. No Salah, no Van Dijk, no Szoboszlai, no Gravenberch, no Diaz in the squad for Liverpool this evening. Very, very young bench from Liverpool tonight from Arne Slot. But it might be a case that he can use a few more of those youngsters if Liverpool's progression in this game continues. They're dominating the ball at the moment. This is Núñez, the goal scorer. And Gomez is going to see it out of play because it's taken a deflection, so it's a Liverpool throw 10 yards inside Southampton's half, far left.
I've got to say, Chris, that take the goal away, Southampton have dealt with what Liverpool have thrown at them so far in these approaching the 28th minute of the game. Not really causing too many problems, to be honest. All the ball is out in front of them. They're pretty solid back there. They drop into a back five, and then it's a four in front of them, and then Cameron Archin is the lone striker in the centre of the pitch. So they haven't really managed to play through them as such yet, but that goal is the all-important difference so far.
We are Liverpool, chant the Liverpool fans, who are making all the noise right now in this first game for Southampton of the post-Russell Martin era. I wonder if he's listening tonight, or maybe watching somewhere, or maybe just taking himself away from it altogether. The former Southampton manager who did such great work to get the football club to the Premier League last season. The club went on that record 25-game unbeaten run, promotion to the Premier League via the playoffs. But that statement off the back of losing 13 of their 16 Premier League games this season, saying that they knew the challenges Southampton, but the reality of the situation was clear, and that is why they felt that they had to make a change. So Simon Rusk, the under-21 manager, is down on the touchline now with his arms folded, his jacket soaking wet, watching on with Liverpool 1-0 up and coming forward again on the far left-hand side. 29 minutes played, and with nowhere to go, coming infield, Gakpo, the Dutchman, has turned back to that far left-hand wing, and the ball is worked back to McAllister and back to Kwanzaa. McAllister got a barge off the ball having played that pass. He's shrugging his arms in the direction of the referee. Here is Elliott trying to push it into Southampton's penalty area, and it's out of play for a Liverpool throw on the right.
Yeah, Liverpool just switching play from side to side. Quite a bit of possession, as you would expect, especially having just taken the lead and the confidence that they're going to play with, albeit with the huge amount of changes that they've had this evening. But very much slotting into a calm and composed pattern of play. Some good performances that we've seen so far from the Liverpool players, but Saints have just got to stay in this game now.
Ball just running away from Tyler Dibbling, just hit the youngster's boot, and it's gone out for a Liverpool throw in Southampton's half on the left wing. There's Flynn Downs, former West Ham player, former Swansea man, of course. One of a few actually in this Southampton squad that Russell Martin has worked with before and brought in, so I'm sure they will be thinking about their futures more acutely than a few others, having had that connection. As Liverpool rebuild with Kwanzaa from the back. Just a reminder, we've got live boxing for you on Saturday night on 5 Live on BBC Sounds. Mark Chapman will be in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia as Gakpo races forward for Liverpool, left side of the penalty area. He's now in the box, Gakpo. He's teed it up for Elliott, and that's a tremendous block. Harwood Bellis threw himself at that strike from the left boot of Harvey Elliott. It hits Harwood Bellis on the back. Liverpool still got the ball, but the danger for now has been nullified by Saints.
Yeah, wonderful pass from Gomez with his right foot inside the fullback James Bree, and Gakpo with his pace running in directly in behind, but Bree did so well to get back, making Gakpo come back in, but he's faced with another ball in the box.
Yep, Gakpo lifting it up. Nioni's header wide of the post was a tricky one for him because he had to try and get up above Ryan Manning and head that down towards Alex McCarthy's goal. He did the former but not the latter, 2 or 3 yards wide from the 17-year-old in the end as he trots back into position in midfield. So Southampton goal kick, but they are 1-0 down here at home to Liverpool, trailing through that Darwin Nunez goal. Franny Benali.
Yeah, Liverpool side very much changed. Been pretty impressive so far. Southampton just looking to really sort of salvage some kind of confidence and belief after the Russell Martin era, and you know, players, I think, as you touched on a little bit there, you know, regardless of who comes in, there's all that uncertainty of a new manager coming in. Are they going to figure as part of their plans? It's very much a new beginning in many ways when you get that change of management.
Gakpo's seen loads of the ball. He's got it again here into the box. Elliott shoots. It's 2-0 Liverpool. Harvey Elliott guides it low into the corner. Brilliantly made by Cody Gakpo, who is lighting up the night with his work. And Elliott, quick as a flash, just got it out of his feet, beats Alex McCarthy, and Liverpool stretch their advantage on this wet night at St Mary's. Southampton 0, Liverpool 2 just beyond the half hour.
But the goals come from Liverpool's left-hand side. They've been a threat all down that side in the entirety of this game so far, and it was a brilliant bit of play again. Gakpo picking the ball up on the touchline, driving in this time. No real options, you would say, but then plays a little 1-2, and then all of a sudden it's a little diagonal pass into Elliott on the edge of the box. The Southampton players just aren't able to get near enough. His first touch is excellent, and it takes the slightest of deflections off Ryan Manning, I think it is. It was definitely goal bound, but you've got to say the deflection makes all the difference, and it gives the visitors a second goal and gives Southampton a huge mountain to climb in this tie now.
Yeah, Southampton, who conceded 5 here in the first half against Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday, and of course 5 in their home game before that against Chelsea in the Premier League. And to the team at the top of the tree with a shot of Slot, Arne Slot up in the stands, watching on, smile on his face, deep in conversation. The Liverpool manager serving a touchline ban tonight. His team are very much in command here against this Saints team, who of course are at the opposite end of the Premier League table and experiencing a very different feeling within the camp at the moment. Liverpool looking confident, and Southampton, generally speaking, despite the fact that they've been relatively resolute tonight, quite frail, as Bednarek gives it back to McCarthy under pressure from Nunez. Had to put his foot through that, didn't he, the Southampton goalkeeper?
He certainly did. I don't think McCarthy would be too pleased with the back pass that he received from Bednarek, just given the conditions. There's a lot of surface water, even we're seeing the spray come up from the ball, or whenever players make a challenge on the floor, and it was certainly putting his goalkeeper under pressure.
Elliott trying to get it to Nunez, the 2 Liverpool scorers looking to combine. Southampton pinch it back. They've only had 1 semi-decent chance in this game, Saints, with 10.5 minutes left of this first half, and that was the opportunity for Tyler Dibbling, but they're largely having to play on the break, Southampton, and with those goals from Nunez after 24 minutes and Harvey Elliott on his first Liverpool start of the season, 32 minutes in. Arne Slot's team have got such a grip of this, but now Saints trying to respond as the ball is out to the right-hand side for Bree, who's moving back in field. Gives it to the blonde hair of Flynn Downs. Forward it goes towards Tyler Dibbling. Did he have his heels clipped? No, he didn't. Now Liverpool break. Nunez, Gakpo up to his left-hand side. He's gone beyond the halfway line. He's now 10 yards outside the box, Darwin Nunez. He eventually gives it to Gakpo, albeit the ball was at his feet, and Gakpo really could have done with it in front of him. And because of that, Gakpo's had to go backwards again with his ball just to keep this Liverpool attack moving.
Yeah, maybe not the best selection of pass, but the three Southampton defenders.
Alexander-Arnold into the box, great save. Oh, McAllister, he must have thought that was destined for the bottom corner, and Alex McCarthy's reactions were brilliant. A left hand to pour it away for a Liverpool corner.
Wonderful save. Alex McCarthy's, like most goalkeepers, is pretty big in stature. It's a bouncing ball in. McAllister striking it first time, and McCarthy gets down to his left, as you mentioned, Chris, to make a great save, pushing the ball around the post. That would have certainly been game over at 3-0, wouldn't it?
It would. It was the Mac attack and the Mac defence. McAllister for Liverpool, McCarthy for Saints.
Very good.
Once a year, Franny, I'll come up with something like that. Liverpool corner from the right-hand side. 2-0 lead they've got against Southampton. Deep one towards that far post. It's come off a Saints' head, and Alexander-Arnold is going to allow that ball just to trickle out of play on the opposite side, the far left, for a Liverpool throw, and he's going to leave it for Joe Gomez to take. The rain has relented a bit now, but the wind is still pretty strong here on the south coast tonight. You always know that it's a wet night when the cameras all around the ground have little droplets of water on them, which mask the view ever so slightly as we're looking at our screens in front of us. Gomez with the throw. The challenge by Dibbling, back out of play for another Liverpool throw, very high up in Southampton's half on the left.
Do you know what, Chris? I'm just looking at the Southampton players. They're playing for their lives now. It's not just in this competition and in this game against Liverpool tonight. With the change of management, they're playing for their futures. They're playing for their Premier League survival. There's so much that they should be fighting and scrapping for at the moment. If Southampton are going to lose this tie tonight, they've got to show the supporters and everybody that's watching and covering this game tonight how much desire and passion they've got to go forward for the rest of this season, whoever comes in as the new manager.
Well, I'm sure those discussions are taking place right now, and that potential new manager may very well be tuned into what's happening here tonight at St Mary's, with the red and white corner flag with the Southampton badge on it billowing in the wind. McAllister with the Liverpool corner into that near post. Nunez tried to flick it on but sent it the other way, and then has gone hurtling into Fernandez, so he's given away a free kick. So Southampton 0, Liverpool 2, and Nunez and Elliott's the two goal scorers tonight for Arne Slot's team.
Yep, some of the more experienced and bigger players that you would be accustomed to seeing and hearing about, but Liverpool given this tie and Arne Slot as a few youngsters opportunities to come in and show what they can do, give an opportunity to the more senior players to get a little bit of an extra recovery. And
I sort of lost my way when I was telling you about the boxing earlier that is coming up on Saturday night on BBC Sounds and on 5 Live because of that Harvey Elliott goal. Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk, that heavyweight world title rematch, which should be absolutely brilliant. Mark Chapman is in Riyadh for it. We'll have it all live here from 9 o'clock on 5 Live and on BBC Sounds. You can search and subscribe to BBC Sounds right now, and we'll have daily 5 Live boxing pods as well in the build up to that fight with Steve Bunce as well, so you can get all the flavour of what that looks like in Riyadh ahead of that enormous bout on Saturday evening. It's a bit of a mismatch here so far tonight. It's Southampton in the red corner 0, Liverpool 2, as Dibbling runs out of room and under pressure from the shoulders of Joe Gomez is pushed out of play, and it's a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, Southampton just putting McAllister and one or two of the other Liverpool players under pressure in their defending third there, but got to say Tyler Dibbling is a difficult player to handle when he's got the ball at his feet and he's running at players, but Joe Gomez has done a solid job on Dibbling so far this evening.
Sandro Tonali scored again for Newcastle against Brentford, so they're 2-0 up at St James's Park. Palace are still 1-0 up at Arsenal. That was a 7:30 kick-off. Newcastle-Brentford got underway at 7:45. That's live tonight on 5 Live, as Liverpool inside their own penalty area with Kelleher in all yellow, sending a right-footed ball up towards the halfway line. Nunez's touch off the bottom of his studs, gives it to Elliott, running away from Joe Aribo, is now having to put his foot down on the gas to try and get back into position. Further down the left for Gakpo, now to the edge of the penalty area. This is McAllister into the feet of Morton, and back out on that left-hand side again for Elliott. There's a beautiful way that Liverpool play, isn't there, Franny, in terms of the interchanging of positions and players happy to slot into different spots to keep the rhythm of attacks going. Yeah,
they're quality players, Chris. They've got that sort of intelligence, ability as footballers as well, and also the directorship from the management to sort of switch those roles up in those positions. If you find yourself in a position like we're just looking at Trey Nyoni now, he's almost like as a right-sided midfielder, not quite winger, but just popping up in all kinds of areas of the pitch, and they're comfortable in possession. Clearly quality players, regardless of their age. You don't beat a club like Liverpool if you're not a good player. So regardless of who's playing, whoever's in the shirts tonight, it's going to be a difficult game.
Manning curling it forward for Saints, up towards Archer, holding the ball up, edge of Liverpool's penalty area. Fernandes joining in. Fernandes cuts back onto his right boot. That was good from him, and then he lifted it into the box, and it just maybe swirled in the wind a little bit from Mateus Fernandes, the young Portuguese. Nobody at the far post, and out of play with Bree and Archer looking longingly on at the situation. The two Saints players in the penalty area. Liverpool goal kick.
Yeah, Archer and Bree were the ones that, or was it Dibbling maybe, but looking to get on that a potential delivery in there. Fernandes does so well, and it's Endo who sort of ends up sliding towards the touchline, but the ball in and the runs had already been made. Just not quite on the same wavelength there.
I think in James Bree's defence, he did lose his footing just before Fernandes was about to play that pass, so it sort of ruled him out in the end of trying to get on to the end of it. 5 Live Sports Extra tonight. Former Southampton defender Franny Benali, part of our commentary team at St Mary's. Liverpool in the ascendancy. How many times have we said that this season? Southampton 0, Liverpool 2 tonight in this League Cup quarter-finals. Joe Aribo trying to put a bit of pressure on the Liverpool midfielders, who are just passing it round with great elegance. Alexander-Arnold and Elliott and Morton, and then McAllister giving it to Endo, and on it goes for Gomez on the halfway line. Out to the left-hand side for Gakpo, who's going to run at Bree again. Coming infield onto his right foot, Gakpo, cross closed down. Picked up by Tyler Morton, who was on loan with Hull City last season. Actually won here with Hull City in the Championship at St Mary's. Endo, now Kwanzaa. Joel Kwanzaa into the penalty area for Gakpo. Tricky one for him to bring down, and he's ended up toe poking it out of play for a Southampton goal kick.
Surprising that some of the Liverpool players just, I know you've got to switch things up and vary your play at times and the way that you approach and making your attacks, but those longer balls just haven't really come to anything from any of the players, any area of the pitch, whether it's defenders playing it forward or the wide players like Gakpo trying to clip balls into the box. Whenever they've gone long with a pass or a delivery into the box, it's either got caught in the wind or it skids off the surface. Just can't understand why they don't just stick with zipping it around on the surface, on the grass.
Yeah, and the rain actually has returned again now at St Mary's as Archer takes it down. He had Endo on his back, he's got away from him, he tries to give it to Dibbling to the right hand side. Good covering from Joe Gomez. He's having a very good game actually for Liverpool in that left back area, particularly up against Tyler Dibbling, who we've seen time and time again has been such a tricky customer in the Premier League this season. So Southampton throw, 90 seconds plus stoppage time left of the first half. Saints 0, Liverpool 2, and Bree is going to take this Southampton throw pretty much in front of those away section of Liverpool fans, into towards the feet of Dibbling, under pressure from Endo, picked up again by Bree. Good strong challenge on him, but Saints will be happy to see that ball just roll out of play for a Southampton corner here as we move towards half time. They're 2-0 down against Liverpool. Franny Benali.
Yeah, and it just gives the home supporters and the Southampton team hopefully that little bit of confidence and a lift that they might just be able to salvage a goal back from this set piece on the stroke of half time. haven't scored a huge amount of goals this season, full stop, in the Premier League, but they've scored in every round of the competition so far. Can they claw one back to get back in this game?
Here comes Manning's corner. It's on top of Kelleher. Kelleher swung a fist at it. I think he was being impeded, the Liverpool Irish goalkeeper, and indeed the whistle of Simon Hooper can be heard loudly around St Mary's. Liverpool free kick. It was Cameron Archer, I think, who was just blocking off the Liverpool goalkeeper there.
See it so often, don't we? Teams putting a player on the goalkeeper just so they don't have a clear run at a ball into the box to come and claim it. Archer being adjudged to have made the foul on Kelleher.
Yeah, tricky night for Cameron Archer. He's held the ball up quite well at times, but obviously he's relatively isolated up there for Saints, and they haven't seen a lot of the ball. Dibling's worked hard here. He did well, actually, Tyler Dibling, to go and win that in midfield initially, and now he's been fouled by Harvey Elliott. So Southampton free kick just inside the Liverpool half, and we are very much inside the 60 seconds that have been added on at the end of the 45 minutes. So this is Southampton's last chance of what will be a last chance for either of these teams in this first half, Franny.
Yep, and a big team talk for Simon Rusk, what he's going to address the team with to try and keep their spirits up. You know, they've been through a difficult season up to this point. Got to get a goal back to try and salvage something in this cup tie.
Here comes Fernandez's free kick up towards that far post. Harwood-Bellis ended up being fouled, so Southampton have now got another free kick. Harwood-Bellis was having his shirt pulled, and this one is probably pretty much bang on 10 yards outside Liverpool's penalty area, left of centre, and we've gone past that 1 minimum minute of added on time. So this is Saints' big chance, really, Franny, to get a goal before the break.
Yeah, great opportunity. I'm not quite sure who'll be taking it, but certainly within range for somebody. But it would have to take a fantastic strike. My gut feel is that they're maybe not going to go for goal, given that it's still some way out. If it had been another 3-4 yards nearer, it would have been a direct strike for sure.
So let's see then. 2-0 Liverpool leads. Southampton free kick. Manning sending it in. It's out of the reach of everybody, and indeed there is the half-time whistle. Southampton 0, Liverpool 2 is the scoreline. Darwin Núñez with the goal 24 minutes in to put Liverpool in front. Alexander-Arnold's long ball over the top took a deflection, bounced really kindly for Núñez, and what was even more fortuitous for the Liverpool striker was that McCarthy slipped, so Núñez had his choice of corner and he popped it into the bottom left. And then Harvey Elliott on his first Liverpool start of the season with the second goal, a crisp finish with his right foot into the opposite side of McCarthy's net. And Southampton, who have huffed and puffed Franny Benali, but ultimately at times have been outclassed on this wet night. It's Southampton 0, Liverpool 2 at the break.
Yeah, difficult for Southampton. It's always going to be tough. They've had the change of management, coming up against a side like Liverpool, albeit with their huge amount of changes. Going behind is a mental challenge for them now. I think, you know, like, losing is not a habit as such, but there's been so many defeats, only that one win in the Premier League this season. Few successes en route to this quarter-final tonight, but they've got to pick themselves up somehow in this game this evening, but for the rest of the season as well. There's still so much to play for. You know, the game's not over. Get the next game in this game. Who knows how the tide could change.
And a word on Liverpool. Mass changes from Arne Slot tonight. He's not on the touchline either, so his assistant Sipske Holshoff is looking after things this evening, but they don't look like they've been overly affected by the fact he's made so many changes. He's left so many star names back in Merseyside tonight. No,
they just look a well, confident, believe their play is their rotation, as you touched on in the comms in the first half. They look comfortable, and they're probably deserving of the 2 goals. Slight defection on the second one for Elliott's goal, and a little mistake, and could have been certainly different for Núñez's goal, but worthy winners leaders, should I say, of this game so far, but still got more work to do in the second half.
Yeah, and for Southampton, so much work to do, because the team that has scored the fewest goals in the Premier League this season need to find 2 against the team at the top of the Premier League, just to try and force this game into some sort of jeopardy here. Remember, there is no extra time. We would go straight to penalties. It doesn't feel like we're anywhere close to being in that sort of scenario right now. So at half-time here, 2-0 Liverpool lead. Arsenal have equalised against Crystal Palace, by the way. They're just beyond the hour there. Gabriel Jesus has made it 1-1. Jean-Philippe Mateta got the goal for Crystal Palace in the first half. Newcastle are 2-0 up against Brentford. At the break, a double from Sandro Tonali. That's where we're going to take you now here on 5 Live Sports Extra. Join our coverage over on 5 Live. You can hear a little bit of that Newcastle-Brentford game, and then you can come back with us just after 9 o'clock for the second half here at St Mary's, where at the break it is Southampton 0, Liverpool 2.
Episodes of the 5 Live Boxing podcast as well with Steve on BBC Sounds all week. We've got a special 5 Live Sport podcast as well, all about Saudi Arabia's investment in sport, warts and all. It's called Saudi Arabia and Sport, The Explainer. That is available now. It's on our All About feed on BBC Sounds. Half-time at St Mary's, back in the League Cup. Chris Coles.
Southampton 0, Liverpool 2 in far from ideal conditions, with the rain falling and the wind whipping around the stadium. A much changed Liverpool, but they're comfortably the better side. Darwin Núñez and Harvey Elliott with tidy finishes. Núñez collecting Alexander-Arnold's through ball, tidy finish into the corner. Harvey Elliott likewise. Gakpo provided it, Elliott finished it. Southampton struggling to keep hold of the ball. They're not playing as riskily as they did under Russell Martin, but when they go long, it's coming straight back at them in the stiff breeze. But they will have the wind in the second half, and we'll see if that makes a difference. Southampton 0, Liverpool 2.
In the Women's Champions League, it's already finished. Barcelona 3, Manchester City 0. What about Arsenal, Bayern Munich, half-time, Sahel Sahi?
Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1. Evenly fought first half. The Arsenal goal coming from a corner which was spilt by the Bayern Munich goalkeeper and then accidentally ricocheted off their captain, Glodis Vigastottir. Both sides had their periods of dominance, and then the equaliser came 6 minutes before the break. A corner once again. Georgia Stanway with the first contact, and then Magdalena Eriksson with the finish. Half-time, Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1.
Thank you very much, Sahel. I wasn't expecting Come a Chameleon to be playing tonight. It should be all Christmas music. Let's take you back to the Emirates. John Southall.
Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 1. Another chance for Jesus on the left of the area, on the turn, saved by Henderson at his near post from the corner, cleared away. Interestingly, from those corners, Palace are keeping 3 players up so they can't pack the box, Arsenal, and so far it's working. Arsenal 1, Palace 1.
Right, back to get back underway at St James's. Ian.
Yep, already underway. Brentford are on the attack. This is Wissa just outside the penalty area. Wissa looks for a shooting opportunity, charged down by Cher, and it falls to the feet of Murphy. Chris Waddle was quite correct as well. Joel Linton did not appear at the start of the second half, replaced by Willock as Newcastle straight away attack at the other end. This is Gordon. Gordon passes the ball into the penalty area. Slice clearance by me. Livramento overruns it, and I'll run through the two teams for you. As Newcastle United in their black and white striped shirts and black shorts have Dubravka in goal, the back four of Livramento, Cher, Byrne and Hall, Tonali, Guimaraes, Willock, Murphy, Isak and Gordon. Incidentally, the yellow cards picked up in the first half for Cher and Guimaraes means that they will both be suspended for the first leg of the semi-finals that take place, well, the first leg at the start of January. For Brentford, well, they lost Vandenberg in the warm-up, and then during the first half they lost Pinnock again through injury. So they now line up with Flecken in goal, a back three of Collins, me and Ayer, with Ruislef and Lewis Potter as the wing-backs. You've then got Yarmouk and Janelt, Carvalho, Schade and Wissa. And Mbeumo is on the bench. Brentford are defending the Gallagate end in their pink shirts and maroon shorts, are playing from right to left as we look, and you would think there would be a little bit more fight and bite about Brentford.
Urgency I'm looking at. Yes, honestly, you've got 45 minutes to stay in the cup, or you're out. They came out nice and early. I think the manager must have had a few words with them, but since we've kicked off second half, I haven't really saw a bit of urgency about them. So it's been very, very easy for Newcastle United.
Former England international Chris Waddle, who's with us here at St James's Park. We're live on BBC Radio 5 Live and also on the BBC Sounds app. Sports Extra will have commentary of Southampton against Liverpool, and we'll keep you in touch of Arsenal Crystal Palace, that 7:30 kickoff that is 1-1. A reminder, no extra time, nor tonight nor tomorrow, for that next commentary of Tottenham Hotspur Manchester United. So penalties required after 90 minutes. Carvalho asks for Lewis Potter but won't get the better of Livramento, who passes the ball into his penalty area for Cher, And Guimaraes will play a short ball to Murphy. Came under pressure. Guimaraes was alive to the danger of it going back to Wissa. Cher had to quickly act and put the ball out of a throw, preventing it from going for a corner. Brentford to take it. In fact, Sharda, I think, is going to run across to take the throw instead. So attacking the Leazes end, where those hardy souls have travelled from West London high up away towards our left. It must be a good over 1,000 have made that long trek to the northeast of England, hoping to see their side get back into the game. It's a long throw from Sharda, flicked on by Collins and hooked acrobatically over his head by Wissa, but it's over the crossbar. Goal kick.
No, it was a long throw by Sharda, wasn't it? Wow, that's nearly landed middle of the goal, distance-wise. So, but I still don't see the urgency. How do you get back in this cup tie? By taking risk and going having a go, and unfortunately they're playing very similar to the first half.
The attendance inside St James's tonight is 51,765, and the majority will be content with this scoreline of Newcastle United 2, Brentford 0. Those goals from Tonali in the first half, as Murphy challenged by Janelt. Tonali loses out to Yarmouk, but Tonali charges after the Brentford players. Mee had to skip out of the way to Carvalho now for Brentford. Just in from the left touchline on this near side, Lewis Potter strokes it back left-footed. Fair-haired Mee plays the ball inside. Collins overhits it. There's again another heavy touch, and it goes out of play for a goal kick as we're going to the darts and James Gregg.
And we've just had, Deno, a 9-dart finish, the 15th in World Championship history. To take the opening set, the relatively unknown Dutch dartsman Christian Kist. The arena has gone absolutely bonkers. It happened about 2 minutes ago, and you can still hear the noise. Incredible. So he's one set up, and this crowd have been treated already tonight. An incredible, historic 9-dart finish for Christian Kist.
Thank you, James. Free kick taken quickly by Tonali for Newcastle. Swept downfield towards Livramento, held up by Lewis Potter on the edge of his own penalty area, and then marshalled safely behind for a goal kick. I mean, the beauty of the second goal for Newcastle now is that, they've just got to keep it tight, and they're through the last four.
Listen, they've just, as you say, just work hard. Don't allow Brentford to get time, space, especially in the final third. And go and get a third, because the longer the game goes on, Brentford's got to take more risk.
Brentford, who didn't reach the quarter-finals in this competition for any of the first 60 seasons, and now in their last 8 have found them in the last 8 in 3 of the last 5 seasons. They lost to Chelsea in 2021. They did eliminate Newcastle in the previous season, as we mentioned, in the first half, but it looks like they are the ones going to be making the exit as it currently stands, 6 minutes into the second half, trailing 2-0, 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Brentford do have a free kick, which not quite at the midway point of the Newcastle half, as the black and white striped shirts of Newcastle United once again provide as much protection as possible to Dubravka with that high line 25 yards out from goal. Lewis Potter is the player who places the ball down gently. You've got the 3 central defenders who've gathered on this near side, Collins and Ayer and Ben Mee. Then again it's taken short, and then Janelt is the player who switches it to Mee, heads it on, drops towards Collins with his back to goal, and then Mee's touch, a little bit off balance, has skied it, and it's well behind for a goal kick.
No, well worked free kick again. Obviously Newcastle are holding that high lane to move the ball square. Newcastle have to drop off, and they weren't a good angle, but Mee could not get his foot wrapped around it to put it in the box.
They haven't had a shot on goal yet, Brentford. 52 minutes into this cup tie. Tonali forward to Murphy. Stepping out of defence was Mee. Mee to Lewis Potter. Carvalho back towards Janelt. That was quicker from Brentford. A little bit sharper. They pass the ball. Wissa is onto it. Plays it back to Lewis Potter. Promising for Brentford. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Janelt with a cross. Headed away easily by Byrne. no focal point in the penalty area. Yarmouk, back with Janelt looking for a way back into the tie. Newcastle trying to work hard to get it back, and Gordon does succeed in doing so. It was Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 1. There's now been a goal, but to who to? John Southall.
They've turned it around. Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 1. Jesus again. Gabriel Jesus on the right of the area. Smashed it into the bottom left-hand corner. Arsenal 2, Palace 1.
So as it currently stands, 3/4 of that semi-final lineup would be Arsenal, Liverpool and Newcastle United, with to join them Tottenham Hotspur or Manchester United tomorrow night. Here is Willock getting the ball back from Gordon, out to Hall on that far side, down the line to Willock, former Arsenal player, and the Brentford player just drops to the floor easily. That was Yarmouk, and it'll be a free kick to the away side.
It's Newcastle, isn't it? The game's very scrappy, and let's be honest, there's not a lot of quality. Brentford have had a lot of time on the ball in certain areas, but not used it well enough. Newcastle, very well disciplined, seeing the game through.
Here is Janelt, hits a ball early, nobody was giving chase. There was Cher, plays it forward under pressure, finds Livramento in that central area now, is able without any undue pressure to wander across towards the far side, and Gordon shuffles the ball inside. Livramento has stayed central. Isak comes short, 25 yards out. It was being pulled back by Janelt there. The referee has played the advantage. Out to Murphy, comes to a standstill right corner of the area. Tonali will give it back to Murphy. Tonali then, and Newcastle United have a control in this cup tie with 10 minutes into the second half. Here is Hall, back to Cher inside the centre circle, working it neatly, finding their men. Tonali, Livramento, Murphy comes in off the right touchline, goes into a central area, runs off the legs of Yarmouk, and actually aided Murphy. Here is Gordon to Isak, back towards Gordon. Nice move by Newcastle United, nicked away off his toes behind for a corner.
The thing about Newcastle is when they get the ball, they're going to take a short corner.
Taking it very short and very quickly. Gordon, in it goes, headed out by comes towards Livramento. Brentford had everybody back in and around their own penalty area. Newcastle United still lead by 2-0. Gordon in field to Guimaraes. Hall back with Livramento, goes square. Tonali, now it's with Cher, who provides the width on this near side, the right. Murphy now will make that run out towards the right touchline. Newcastle though still keeping the ball, and keeping the ball very, very well.
Listen, they're 2-0 up, but they don't need to take risks. If you look at them, when they go through the gear zone, Newcastle, they do. Brentford, no, nothing.
Willock runs forward into the penalty area. Shot takes a deflection. They're appealing for handball. The referee, with no VAR, will say it goes behind for a corner kick. Newcastle 2-0.
The thing with Newcastle is they've played possession, they've played the game slow, and a lot of this game. But what they do is when they see an opportunity, they go for it, and the change of pace and everything.
Hello, welcome back to St Mary's here. We are just underway in the second half. It is Southampton 0, Liverpool 2. You were just listening to live coverage of Newcastle against Brentford, that you can continue to listen to on 5 Live, but here it is such a tall order for Southampton, the team at the bottom of the Premier League, to get themselves into a position where they might be able to force Liverpool into some moments of danger in this second half. 2 goals, Nunez and Elliott with them for Liverpool in that first 45 minutes. And here on 5 Live Sports Extra, Southampton under the stewardship of Simon Rusk in interim charge after the departure of Russell Martin on Sunday night after their heavy defeat here against Tottenham Hotspur. Well, can Saints, Franny Benali, do anything that is going to spin this quarter-final League Cup tie back in their direction?
It's going to be clearly really tough, Chris, given how the game's gone already and how the season's gone. They've got to try and find something from deep within, lift themselves up somehow, try and salvage something, even if it's not going to be something that they can take forward in the competition tonight, something for the rest of the season. They're looking a little bit short of confidence this evening as well, and that's understandable, but there's still so much to fight and play for, not just in the Premier League but in this tie as well. Get the next goal in this game, you just never know.
Liverpool, by the way, we're 2 minutes into the second half, 2-0 up. They've made 2 changes at half-time. They have taken off Trent Alexander-Arnold and Joe Gomez, so the 2 fullbacks have come off here, and on comes Tsimikas, who is making his way back from injury. Of course, the Greek left-back, he's on the pitch, Kostas Tsimikas, and so is Federico Chiesa as well, who we haven't seen in a Liverpool shirt. Obviously one of their signings of the summer, hasn't played for Liverpool since the 25th of September, so some minutes for him this evening. So it's a bit of a reshuffle in terms of what Liverpool have done in terms of their formation. They're on the ball on the far right hand side, midway inside Southampton's half. The ball is pushed down the line where Wood, the Southampton centre half, that's Nathan Wood, the number 15, wins Southampton a throw, but right down by their corner flag in that left back area. And here is Nioni, the young Liverpool 17-year-old, first start for him in a Liverpool shirt tonight, winning the ball outside Southampton's penalty area, eventually given to Gakpo, who's come in field from Tsimikas' pass. Then Harvey Elliott in the centre of the park gives it to Nioni, who's giving it to Tsimikas, who's giving it back to Nioni again, and then on the halfway line is Endo once more. 3 minutes in the second half, Saints 0, Liverpool 2.
Perfect situation, I guess, for Liverpool to make those changes and get minutes into players and legs, and just sort of rotating that squad builds experience for the younger players, helps the senior players that have been playing more regular. Lots and lots of football coming up now this time of season with the competitions Liverpool are in. And at 2-0 up at half-time against a team that's been struggling all season, it's the ideal scenario for them.
Tsimikas looking for a ball into the penalty area for Gakpo. Covering well was James Bree, the Southampton defender, one of Nathan Jones' signings when he came into the club. Has just popped that behind for a corner. Has he got a problem here though, Franny?
Yeah, I think just in that moment, that defending, he's just sort of, it's almost like he's holding his groin.
Yeah,
it's almost like he's got a groin strain or something's gone, and he's now sat on the surface with the medical team on to see how bad that is.
Yeah, so I wonder whether James Bree is going to be able to continue here. And in fact, there is a shot of the Southampton substitutes bench, because I can see Yuki Sugawara. Yeah, he's already getting the white tape out to get his socks in order, so it doesn't look like James Bree is going to be able to continue here. And when we eventually do get back underway, it's going to be a Liverpool corner, with them leading Southampton by 2-0. And while James Bree is receiving treatment, I'll tell you a little story from half-time, because there was no milk in the press room downstairs, which obviously isn't the greatest travesty in the world, but it meant that we couldn't have a coffee. But you know you're in the presence of Southampton royalty when you come back upstairs and Franny Benali can simply knock on the door of one of the hospitality suites, and 3 minutes later both of us are holding lattes in our hands.
That's not bad. We haven't tested it yet though.
Well, that is very true, but I trust it's going to be better than the non-milk coffee that was available downstairs.
I'm sure it's going to be lovely, but it's hot and warm, which will be good for us.
So James Bree's on his feet. He is holding the inner part of his left groin, the Southampton defender, as he comes towards the touchline. No sense that Saints are going to make a change just yet with Sugawara, so Liverpool are going to continue with this corner, with Bree now off the pitch on this near left hand side. Corner is taken deep towards the far post, definitely got caught up in the wind, that one from Harvey Elliott, was it, or was it McAllister who sent that? It was McAllister. Yeah, and it's gone out to play on the opposite side. Southampton goal kick, and Bree I think wants to carry on here.
Well, he's jogging towards the halfway line, Chris, isn't he, as if he wants to get back into the action, so maybe they'll just see how it is. Simon Rusk going over to him in the technical area, and he does turn round, and I'm sure it's going to be one that they'll keep an eye on, but certainly don't want any long-term injuries to any of the players. Going to need all hands to the cause for the rest of this campaign, not just tonight.
Sorry, Fran, I was just going to say long ball forward, and Archer is offside for Southampton, so Liverpool free kick, which they've moved very quickly from that right back area over to this halfway line on the near left. 2-0 up, Nunez and Elliott with the goals inside a 10-minute period in the second half. One where Alex McCarthy slipped as he contemplated coming out to meet Darwin Nunez, and then the other one, a deflection which just took it away from the Saints goalkeeper from Harvey Elliott's shot. It's back with Kelleher at the moment, the Liverpool goalkeeper, who's had a good spell in the Liverpool team in recent weeks with Alisson injured, but obviously he's back now, so Kelleher, it would seem, has gone back to being Liverpool's number 2 again. Dibling's got the ball for Southampton. Breeze come back onto the pitch and he's immediately won it for Saints. High up on the right hand side, Breeze cross off Endo's head, and Liverpool very calmly take the ball down with no fluster at all. It's up towards Nunez, who let it run, and it ran beyond him in the end, and recovering was Bednarek, and it's back with McCarthy, the Saints goalkeeper.
Saints have nothing to lose in this game now, I don't think. You know, they've got to throw a bit of caution to the wind, clearly not going too gung-ho and opening things up at the back, but they need to get a goal to get back into this tie. I think from memory, unless you correct me, Chris, there was only that Tyler Dibling effort, a tame effort into Kelleher's hands, which Southampton had in the first half. So other than that, there's been very little in the way of creativity and efforts at goal, so got to be a bit more adventurous.
Yeah, and if you're Kelleher, it's not really the sort of night you want to be standing around doing nothing really as a goalkeeper. Very chilly, very windy, has been quite wet, the rain's relented at the moment, but the weather sort of epitomising Southampton's season really. Bottom of the Premier League table, 5 points from their 16 games. Last win 2nd of November here against Everton. But the team from across Merseyside are here tonight and are commanding matters. Liverpool, the League Cup champions, as it stands, moving through to the semi-finals with relative ease tonight, as Tsimikas, with his hair tied back, the Liverpool substitute, gives it to Neoni on the halfway line. Number 98 on Neoni's back. Now Gakpo, 5 yards outside the box on the left hand side, in towards Nunez. Looked like he drifted offside. He did. Flags up, free kick Southampton.
Yep, correct decision. Nunez just drifting centrally in the 18-yard box in an offside position, but good movement, good possession from Liverpool again. What you would expect from a team that are top of the table, 2-0 up in this side, regardless of changes. They've been impressive this evening, looking good so far.
And we, Franny Benali, spent the whole of the first half having absolutely no idea that Arne Slot is sat literally 2 rows behind us in the press box, the Liverpool manager.
I've just noticed him looking over your shoulder now, Chris. So maybe the microphone leads might lead up 2 rows. We could maybe get an in-match comment interview. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that's worth a go, isn't it? We can. That would be a first, I think, on 5 Live Sports Extra. Franny Benali, former Southampton defender, with us tonight here. Played for many years for Saints in the Premier League, but Southampton, who were down in the Championship last season, have been relegated from the Premier League the year before, and it looks like they might be going back there unless their season can spin. This competition's been a bit of light relief for them, but they're exiting as it stands. They're 2-0 down to Liverpool. It's back with McCarthy, who calmly returns it to Bednarek inside his own box, and now Bree, the Southampton right back, into the feet of Dibling. Aribo back with Dibling again. That's neat from Southampton, just to work it forward. Harwood Bellis has lofted it up towards Archer. He loses the aerial battle in that Liverpool defence, but Downs has won it back for Saints. Here's Aribo on the halfway line. Bit of support coming on the left hand side for Manning, who's now carried the ball 20 yards. Manning tries to poke it through for Aribo, intercepted, but Saints get it back with Downs, and now pretty much on the halfway line with Woods.
Bit more promising from Southampton in the final third now. Howard Bellis's ball into the box, cleared comfortably by Liverpool, and we've got a counter-attack on.
Yeah, Nunez bringing it away. He's got options either side here, Darwin Nunez, and he's overplayed it for Gakpo. Gakpo is going to reach it, but feels like the ball should have gone the other way, really. Oh, and I don't know quite what's going on at the other end of the pitch, but we were focusing on everything that was happening in that Liverpool counter-attack, and yet Flynn Downs is being pulled away from a situation of squaring up to 1 or 2 Liverpool players at the other end of the pitch. He's getting a cuddle at the moment from Joe Aribo just to settle him down. What was that about?
Well, I, along with you, was following the line of the ball into the corner, and there's 2 yellow cards being issued.
It's Downs and Elliott, isn't it, who have been booked by Simon Hooper.
There was a little coming together, and the referee was sort of had eyes on it as the play was developing, but Downs and Elliott continued to grapple with one another. I think it was more a case of probably Downs quite possibly haven't got an angle really to see it properly, but certainly shall we say a disagreement maybe for a few seconds.
Yeah, and I do recall, Franny Vinali, even in my younger years, of one or two times where you might have grabbed an opponent by the scruff of the shirt neck as well, a bit like those two did there. All in the competitive element, yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Trying to win a game of football.
Absolutely. Which Liverpool are doing at the moment. 2-0 up here with both the goals coming in the first half. We're 12 minutes into the second here. Nunez being fouled by Bednarek, who for a moment there looked like there was going to be another flare-up between those two then. Bednarek and Nunez the latest, and then all of a sudden they were mates again and they were hugging. And all was fine.
Potential flashpoint, and then it turned into a little bit of a very friendly encounter, that one.
It did.
Not quite like the one before.
Mark's had a 10 for the Latte, by the way.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. You should certainly try it.
Yeah, I've managed to have a little sip. So here, Liverpool 2-0 up. Arsenal are 3-2 up against Crystal Palace. Gabriel Jesus has got a hat-trick for the Gunners. Here comes Southampton. Archer, they're 2-0 down, but Archer's got the run into the box here. He's up against Kwanzaa. He's on his right foot. Oh, what a hit from Cameron Archer. He's thrashed that beyond Kelleher. It's a sublime finish by Archer, and Southampton, just before the hour mark, have got a passage back into this game. Southampton 1, Liverpool 2.
And you've got to say, it's a fabulous finish, Chris, as you say, but the way it came about, it was bizarre. Fernandes tried flicking a pass. It hits Endo in the face, ricochets back into play. Cameron Archer picks the ball up. He's direct, he cuts inside, and then he wraps his foot around the ball, and it nestles in the far corner, the side netting. Fabulous finish. And it gives the home supporters something to cheer, which they haven't had for a long time.
Yeah, lovely stuff from Cameron Archer, Southampton's top scorer this season. That's his 5th of the campaign. He's got a really good record actually in the League Cup. Now 7 goals in 8 League Cup appearances for Cameron Archer. And listen to St Mary's, there is, for the first time in quite a few weeks, the noise of belief amongst those inside the grounds.
It's certainly brought the supporters to life, hasn't it? And you just wonder how a goal can change a game as well. How will that affect the Liverpool side now? You've got to say, up until this point, completely in control for the best part of an hour until that goal went in. Let's see what effect that has on both teams now in this tie.
The Saints are going to make a change while Liverpool prepare to take a throw on the opposite side of the pitch to us, the far right. And it is going to be Sugawara who's coming on for James Bree, who we noted a few minutes ago had tweaked the groin, and he's still holding it now actually as he has a conversation with Southampton's interim manager Simon Rusk down on the touchline. So that's Southampton's first change of the evening, the introduction of the Japanese fullback Sugawara, the £5 million signing from AZ Alkmaar. And Liverpool made a bit of a hash of that throw, and suddenly Southampton have got one of their own inside Liverpool's half over on that far left-hand side. The atmosphere is definitely altered inside this ground, Franny.
It certainly has, yeah. And how often do we see how a goal does change a game of football? It's got the supporters on their feet and vocally, and it seems to be lifting the team too.
Here's Sugawara, great ball. Oh, Kelleher stops it. What a brilliant save from the Liverpool goalkeeper. It might have been Diblin who got a touch on it, flicked towards goal, and Kelleher getting up to turn it away. Saints come again. Sugawara, deep ball into the box, taken down, shot towards goal, deflects behind from Fernandes' effort. Southampton are having a purple patch. They're having one of their best few minutes of the season. They've got a corner. Saints 1, Liverpool 2.
Well, we're going to see it again, but I really don't know how he makes this save. It's absolutely fantastic. It's literally 4 or 5 yards out. It's Cameron Archer who gets the half volley. It's a little diagonal ball in behind the Liverpool defence from Sugawara. It bounces, and it's a reaction save from Kelleher to his right. An outstanding save, you've got to say.
Yeah, best number 2 in the business for me, Caoimhin Kelleher, and that's why. Southampton corner. Fernandes with it, trying to put it on top of Kelleher. Oh, he flung a fist at it, Kelleher. He didn't actually touch it. I don't think anybody touched it. It's gone all the way through with great pace out the other side for a Liverpool goal kick. Southampton 1, Liverpool 2.
Well, the game's come to life, Chris, hasn't it? We got a cup tie on. And Kelleher makes that save. It's almost at him, but you've got to say, maybe if Archer, it's a difficult one to take, but if he'd managed to direct it lower than what he actually did, if there's one thing that went in Kelleher's favour, it was the fact that his sort of body height, he just had to stick an arm out, and he reacted brilliantly. Absolutely outstanding to keep his team just ahead of this. But the atmosphere in the stadium is really lifted now, and it's made Liverpool make a couple of changes.
Yeah, so Diogo Jota has come on from the bench, and so has the 20-year-old midfielder James McConnell as well, who did actually play in the EFL Cup final last year for Liverpool in their victory over Chelsea. He made an appearance in that match. So McAllister is off, so is Gakpo for Liverpool. So they've now made 4 changes in this game, Liverpool, and they've got a free kick here. Endo bundled over by a slightly too energetic Cameron Archer, but Southampton are feeling all of a sudden that they, for the very first time on this night, might have Liverpool on the ropes a bit.
Most definitely, it's the best opportunity, best spell of the game that they've had. And I'm not necessarily endorsing that kind of challenge from Cameron Archer there, but you know, it's clearly lifted the players as well as the supporters. All of a sudden they feel they've got something to really go for in this game, and you've just seen the way that Southampton are shutting the Liverpool players down at this moment, pressing high up the pitch. It's re-energised the team from a side that looked completely dead and buried.
So 1 goal between these two teams, just as there was a few weeks ago when they played here at St Mary's in the Premier League. Saints 2, Liverpool 3 that particular afternoon. Saints 1, Liverpool 2 here tonight in this League Cup quarter-final. But it is a cup tie now, as Endo gives it to one of the Liverpool substitutes, Jota, and then Tsimikas back to the Japanese defender. Endo playing as a centre-half tonight, gives it to Kwanzaa, who runs forward up towards the halfway line with it. Jarell Kwanzaa into the feet of Harvey Elliott, whose goal made it 2-0 to Liverpool after Darwin Núñez's opener in the first half. And Kwanzaa again just having a look around. Liverpool will feel that they want to get back to having the sort of control they had on this game before that. Brilliant strike from Cameron Archer to make it 2-1 to the visitors, to the 10-time League Cup winners Liverpool, and of course the current champions as well of this competition. And this 19-game unbeaten run, Liverpool right now, as the rain pounds down at St Mary's, and Kwanzaa just shifting it out towards the right-hand side for Tyler Morton, who's playing a deeper role now in this Liverpool team, and he's got the ball again on the halfway line. Liverpool going right to left in all black, leading 2-1. Franny Benali.
Liverpool game management extremely well, just taking the sting out of the game. I would like to see Southampton really just try and keep that pressure on Liverpool. They've got that momentum with the goal that they've scored, and the crowd getting behind them even more. It's lifted them as well, but they're just dropping back into that comfortable shape that we see so many teams do, just happy to let the opposition have it, not wanting to run out of good positions. But they want to test this Liverpool side now, see what they're actually like under some real pressure,
which Southampton are trying to do, because Joe Aribo has scrapped to get the ball back. He's kept Endo away from it as well, and Saints on the halfway line try and start an attack from this right hand side now with Harwood Bellis, who has his heels clipped by Diogo Jota, who's not too happy about the decision. Throws one arm up into the air in disgust, the Portuguese, and it is a Southampton free kick. We're almost at the midway point in this second half. Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. Short delay. Simon Hooper's got to do his laces up, the referee.
Yeah, he couldn't have done the double knot at half time.
So eventually the laces are tied of the official. The game is not tied at the moment, but Southampton might be feeling that they're moving things that way all of a sudden, as Bednarek gives it to Nathan Wood, who's only had Premier League minutes for Southampton in this team this season since December. He's largely been a peripheral figure in the side. Given to Downs out to the right hand side for Dibbling. Dibbling fancies a run at the Liverpool defence here. He's trying to go round Kostas Tsimikas round the outside of him. He's barged him away from the ball. He's given it to Downs to tee off for Sugawara. But Southampton are going backwards now, back to the halfway line, and back with Jan Bednarek again.
Yeah, I get there's an element that they want to keep possession, and they've done that for so long, but it's Dibbling on the ball again, and
Dibbling trying to push it through for Sugawara. Sugawara was saying that Nioni had a bit of his shirt and was stopping him from getting to the ball. He actually stopped the Japanese defender because he thought Simon Hooper was going to blow his whistle, and it's been waved away, so Liverpool back in possession.
Yeah, there was definitely contact, a little bit of pulling there, and you'd probably say if it maybe wasn't quite so close to the edge of the 18-yard box, there could well have been a decision given from the referee, and I think it's a justified appeal from Sugawara. Certainly felt that he was impeded.
2-1 Liverpool. High ball forward looking for Jota. Headed back to goalkeeper McCarthy from Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who's had a great time in his competition this season. Scored against Stoke here and against Everton as well in the round previous to that to help Saints on their way to this point, the quarter-final. Here's Dibbling, that's unlucky. Got the ball stuck underneath his studs. Liverpool turn it over. Jota carries it forward. Edge of the penalty area. Still going. He's in the box now. The layoff across goal. And stopped, put behind. Really good bit of defending from Harwood-Bellis. Got over to make sure that he made the interception on the line to deny Chiesa, who was hoping to finish the chance off. It's a corner.
You thought for a moment Jota was just going to maybe shoot himself, but he slides Chiesa in. And it looks like it's a fabulous opportunity, and the shot itself may have missed the target, but it was certainly heading in the direction of danger up until Taylor Harwood-Bellis cleared the ball for a corner.
Yeah, it's tough to know whether he was trying to shoot there, Chiesa, or pass to Harvey Elliott, because it was sort of in between the two. Here comes Tsimikas' corner into that near post. Doesn't go any further than that. Sugawara's headed it away. Jota now on the edge of the box. Aribo is strong. Saints pinch it. Fernandes pops it almost over the top. Doesn't quite reach the fast-moving Cameron Archer. Stopped by Morton. Now Liverpool right to left. Start an attack of their own. This is really open. Cross on the right-hand side. Did it go out of play? No. So it's picked up on the left wing instead by Elliott, who can turn and have a look around for options. Tsimikas trying to curl it in, and then the foul by Jota, who had a bit too much of Nathan Wood's shirt, has hauled the Saints defender to the ground. Free kick Southampton, 25 minutes into the second half, so 70 played in total, and it's 2-1 to Liverpool. But Saints have got the ball on the far left hand side on the halfway line, and Fernandes playing it infield for Harwood-Bellis. Franny Benali.
Tempo of the game certainly lifted now, hasn't it, for both sides. Southampton really having a go at getting that equalising goal in this game. Liverpool seem to have upped the tempo as well, and the supporters have got an opportunity to potentially see a fantastic cup time.
Look at these two players that Southampton are about to bring on, Franny, in terms of size difference. I don't think I've ever seen two players stand next to each other on the touchline and there be such a difference in height between the very, very small Kamaldeen Sulemana and the immensely tall Paul Onuachu, who I think stands at 6'7", the Saints forward.
Yeah, he's there's not going to be many bigger than him, I don't think, is there? But yeah, quite a difference between the two of them.
So that Saints double change is impending. We're in the last 20 minutes. Liverpool, who led 2-0 at half-time through the goals from Nunez and Elliott. The Saints have come back in this second half with purpose and perfection as well from that finish from Cameron Archer that has made it Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. And Liverpool, who haven't lost since Nottingham Forest beat them at Anfield 3 months ago. Here's Elliott looking for Nunez, and it's the side of him and running all the way through to Alex McCarthy. I wonder whether we might see Aaron Ramsdale back tonight, but maybe he may come back into the Saints team on Sunday against Fulham, the goalkeeper who's damaged his finger and has missed the last few weeks.
Yeah, quite possibly, Chris. One of those that thankfully there's some quality with McCarthy coming in. Joe Lumley did well for those few games in the Premier League. There's a lot of competition in that place when all the goalkeepers would be fit.
Yeah, and let's not forget that save that Alex McCarthy made as well in that first half at 2-0 Liverpool to deny what looked a nailed-on third from Alexis McAllister. So the Southampton changes, Little and Large arriving. It's going to be Cameron Archer, who's getting a very hearty reception from the Southampton fans, the Saints goal scorer. He's making way for Paul Onuachu. And also, here comes Sulemana, and it is Flynn Downs, who as ever has run himself into the ground in Southampton's midfield.
Yep, those two changes as you touched on. Sulemana will drop into that midfield area, probably out on the wing a little bit more. Fernandez and Aribo more central for Southampton now. Paul Onuachu, that like-for-like swap with Archer. Hopefully nothing too serious for Southampton's perspective, but Flynn Downs looked like he was a little bit uncomfortable as he left the field.
Oh, here's Onuachu, he's taking it off Tsimikas. Off he goes, the substitute. He's completely on his own. He's run into the penalty area. He's been barged out of room, and Liverpool, not with a great deal of grace initially, managed to play their way out effectively in the end, but then present the ball back to Southampton on the halfway line. Here's Diblin running across the pitch, tripped as he went towards Elliott, but I don't think the foul's been given against Harvey Elliott. It was the one just before that Simon Hooper has spotted. So Southampton free kick, 74 minutes in, Saints 1, Liverpool 2, and it's about 20 yards inside Liverpool's half.
With the personnel, it could have almost been, if it had been a minute earlier and Cameron Archer in that position that Paul Onuachu found himself in, it might have been a different story, because the pace of the two players is very different. Onuachu not able to get away from the Liverpool defenders, but Southampton are just increasing the pressure and the frequency that they're able to get into the Liverpool defence now.
So here comes the free kick then, which Fernandez has sent in. Onuachu with the chance, he's offside. He made a bit of a mess of it anyway, the Southampton striker. Heavy touch off the chest, and by that point the ball had run away from him. But either way, whatever had happened, it wouldn't have counted. Liverpool free kick.
Could have been better, as you say. But what it does do for Southampton is it just builds that little bit more confidence, that little bit more belief that they can get something from this. And it was a correct decision, definitely offside, good decision from the officials. And maybe Onuachu's quite pleased that it was given offside, because, as you rightly said, Chris, just made a little bit of a hash of the ball coming into him.
And play is not back underway because Wataru Endo, the Liverpool number 3, is down and holding his shoulder. He's sat down inside his own penalty area at the moment, and there are a couple of members of Liverpool's medical staff that are tending to him at the moment, and obviously Liverpool have only got one change left to make as well. They've made 4 already tonight.
He's done well back there, hasn't he? You know, sort of not really tested too much, I wouldn't have said, but you know, sort of playing in a role that is not sort of one that he would be his preferred choice, I would say, as a midfielder. But yeah, he's, you know, he, like many others, have been very comfortable this evening. But just seeing that other side of what makes a team and a player, you know, when you started to be put under pressure a little bit, when the dynamics and the momentum of a football game changes a little bit, how do the players respond to that then?
So Endo, who is making his way off the pitch, but it doesn't look like Liverpool are going to have to make a change. He's made more League Cup minutes than both Premier League and Champions League combined this season, Endo. Last Premier League appearance was actually here in that 3-2 win for Liverpool last month. So Liverpool with this free kick inside their own penalty area after that offside against Onuachu, with the scoreline Southampton 1, Liverpool 2, and Kelleher, who made that great save to deny Cameron Archer a second goal of the game. With a long kick upfield, the ball has bounced towards Elliott, who's flicked it over the head of Ryan Manning. He's continued his run down the right side, Harvey Elliott, because he's taking it back off Chiesa, and then Manning comes back and wants to leave a bit on Elliott, having been done by that little flick over the head. And out of play it goes for a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, good play from Elliott, driving his team forward up the pitch, winning his side. A throw-in from Liverpool's perspective just gets the team in the right area of the pitch and enables Endo to re-enter the field of play.
Yeah, he's had a really frustrating few months, Harvey Elliott, with that broken bone in his foot that he suffered that has ruled him out for such long periods of the start of this campaign. First Liverpool start for him tonight. Onuachu's lost control of the ball, so Liverpool throw just inside Southampton's half, opposite side to us, far right. Liverpool going from right to left in this second half. And here is Chiesa, one of the Liverpool half-time substitutes, who hasn't really, Franny Benali, been in this game since he's come on after his long absence from first-team football.
No, just looking to really sort of... Liverpool need a bit more from him, certainly from what we've seen in these moments in this match this evening. They've got still some work to do, Liverpool. This is far from over this time.
Nice touch by Sugawara in towards Diblin on the halfway line. Endo with the interception. Endo just running into a bit of traffic. He did have his heels kicked by Sugawara, so it's going to be a free kick, and one Japanese native is happy to help another to his feet. Sugawara lifting Endo up off the ground. And of course there is, Franny, a Japanese link between these two clubs as well, of course, because the very first Japanese player to play for Liverpool also played for Southampton, Takumi Minamino, a name that you may well remember from a few seasons ago.
Southampton, yeah.
Here is the substitute, James McConnell, 20-year-old Tynan Weir-born midfielder for Liverpool, with his orange boots on. That's a neat turn from him to take it away from Aribo in the middle of midfield. Now Tsimikas out to this left-hand side for Trey Nioni, who's had a slightly quieter second half compared to his very impactful first 45 minutes. Short pass infield, intercepted by Onuachu inside Southampton's own half. That was good work from the forward to put himself in a position where he could disrupt the flow of the Liverpool build-up. The Saints work it across their back line to this near right-hand side for Sugawara. There's a bit of pressure being put on him and on Bednarek, and I think Harwood Bellis is just going to have to clear it, which he did, but he didn't get enough on it. Tsimikas has got it for Liverpool. Angle of the penalty area, left-hand side, deep ball towards that far post. Headed away by Woods, picked up by Jota on the edge of the box. Neat touch by Elliott, and Liverpool rebuild from the halfway line with Kwanzaa. Franny Benali.
Yeah, it looked a promising attack at one point, but just needed to be a little bit higher, a little bit further, deeper cross, and it would have potentially found Elliott on the far post, but they still got possession of the ball, Liverpool. Yeah, and Morton just making sure that Sulemana's attempts to run with speed down that left-hand side were stopped at source to get the ball back from Liverpool. And some rising noise coming from the away end. I think Liverpool will certainly feel that there are some games that they have felt more comfort in this season than this one, and I think most expected of a neutral perspective this to be a relatively routine Liverpool win tonight, even with the mass changes from the weekend. 8 for Liverpool tonight. No Salah or Van Dijk or Szoboszlai or Diaz or Gravenberch in the squad tonight, but nevertheless this is a supreme Liverpool machine. But there's only one in it. Saints 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool throw halfway inside Saints half on the far right. And those changes that you talk about, Chris, is always going to be measured by the outcome of the game. If you go through and progress in the competition, it's a good decision. If you come unstuck and you don't win the tie, all of a sudden there's criticism. You're open to that criticism then.
Here's Nioni, and now the substitute McConnell for Tsimikas, sending it in from the left-hand side. Tsimikas' cross. Nunez tried the overhead kick. That was ambitious. Picked up again by McConnell. Nioni 5 yards outside the box, into the feet of Tsimikas. Liverpool just trying to patiently break Southampton down here, Franny.
Yeah, just managing the game, patient build-up, but Southampton just got to disrupt this play from Liverpool a little bit more, rather than sort of just happy to sit back and have the ball played in front of them. Get in amongst the players, try and sort of force a mistake, force an error.
Inside the last 8 minutes, Arsenal have beaten Crystal Palace by 3-2 tonight in one of the other League Cup quarter-final games. A hat-trick from Gabriel Jesus. Eddie Nketiah scoring against his former club tonight as well for Palace, and Newcastle on the brink of going through to another semi-final as well in this competition. They are 3-1 up in stoppage time against Brentford. 2 from Tonali, 1 from Cher, a late one back from Wissa for Brentford. And here it is Southampton 1, Liverpool 2, and Tsimikas, oh my goodness me, sent the ball back to Kelleher, nearly beat him with the pass back to him. The goalkeeper genuinely had to scamper to get to that.
Yeah, that was a little heart in mouth moment from Liverpool.
Southampton have got it again here though. Left hand side, Manning into the box, Aribo at the byline, the pullback, the deflection which bounces off the chest of Nioni, and then Liverpool hurry it away upfield. It's actually a nice ball by Elliott, and then Nunez beaten to it by Harwood Bellis. Sugawara down the right hand side, infield for Dibling, whose touch let him down, and there's not too often you've seen that from Tyler Dibling this season.
No, it's something that you don't expect to see from him, and it would have been a brilliant opportunity. The area he was in, the space he was in, but his touch let him down. But Saints still on the attack.
Manning's ball into the box, Tsimikas' header away. That might have hit a hand, but I think it was the wrong side of Simon Hooper, so he couldn't see that it struck the arm of Diogo Jota, but he's lost it to the hungry Fernandes. Now Dibling, 5 yards outside Liverpool's penalty area. Sugawara, I can see the Liverpool assistant Sipka Holshoff down there urging his Liverpool team just to move up a bit. Southampton trying to pin him in. Sulemana, left wing, low ball, Onuachu, oh, he's missed his opportunity, went to sweep it in with his left foot and he's missed his opportunity and he couldn't quite take his chance. We are heading on to 5 Live very shortly here at St Mary's, so stay tuned for further coverage here on 5 Live Sports Extra with us at Saints 1, Liverpool 2 here. Steve, thank you very much. Southampton 1, Liverpool 2 is the scoreline here. So the team at the bottom of the Premier League are mounting a second half comeback against the 19-match unbeaten Liverpool, who were 2-0 up from first half goals from Darwin Nunez and Harvey Elliott. But a cracking finish from Cameron Archer just before the hour, and a brilliant save not long after that from Kelleher to deny Archer his second. And this much changed Liverpool team tonight, Franny Benali, for the first time tonight after a very cosy first 45 minutes, feel like they're rocking a bit and they're under pressure here. Long ball forward, Sugawara's ball across the box, blocked by Tsimikas, out for a Southampton throw deep inside Liverpool's half on the right. We've got 6 minutes to go and it's Saints 1, Liverpool 2.
Yeah, and they've just made a couple of changes as well in that little break. Ben Brereton Diaz coming on, as well as Adam Lallana, Jan Bednarek coming off, Joe Aribo coming off, and the Saints supporters are right behind their team now. And what an opportunity that was for Paul Onuachu. That was the one moment that you think there's your chance to get back on level terms, and he just scuffed his effort.
Yeah, here comes the Southampton throw. Sugawara, it's in towards the very tall Onuachu. That's 6'7", and the flag is up for an offside. There was a cluster of bodies inside that penalty area. Impossible to see who exactly has been penalised. But just before you joined us here on 5 Live, as Franny was alluding to, what a huge opportunity for the substitute Paul Onuachu, still looking for his first Southampton goal. A pullback from Aribo, and he went to slide it in with his left foot, and he just got it all wrong, didn't he, Franny?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big player, and it's difficult. You sort of see him move around the pitch, and maybe not as sort of quick and as nimble as what a smaller player would be. You know, he's got those long limbs and long levers to try and move and react quickly to, and he didn't seem to be able to do that quick enough when the ball was rolled across the 6-yard box to him, and it's got to go down as a big chance.
I'll give you the teams in just a moment, because Morton is having to chase to keep that in play. He can't over in that right back area, so it's going to be a Southampton throw. Liverpool have just made the last of their 5 changes, by the way, and they have brought on Jayden Dans. So he's come on for Trey Nioni, the 17-year-old who's making his first Liverpool start tonight. Chiesa's on, he came on at half-time, his return to the Liverpool team. He's come on at half-time, first appearance since the 25th of September. In comes the Southampton throw into the penalty area, headed away by McConnell, and eventually out of play for a Southampton corner. So let's quickly go to that Champions League game tonight between Arsenal women and Bayern Munich. Sahel Sahi.
She's about to run up to strike the ball. It was her shot which was deflected away using a hand by Bayern Munich. Here she comes, right-footed. She puts Arsenal into the lead. They lead Bayern Munich by 3-2.
So Hell, thank you very much. So that means that Arsenal are going to top that group if things stay as they are. Elsewhere tonight in the EFL Cup, Arsenal 3, Crystal Palace 2, a hat-trick from Gabriel Jesus. Newcastle, if you've been hearing, at St James's Park, through to their latest League Cup semi-final, beating Brentford by 3-1. Sandro Tonali with a double in that game for them. And here, Southampton 1, Liverpool 2, though McCarthy, under pressure from Nunez, had to quickly shift that ball out of his feet. It's picked up by Jayden Danns, the Liverpool substitute on this left-hand side. Here's Jota. And now Tsimikas with the hair tied back, the Greek, who's back into the Liverpool team tonight. And with Jota as another one who's come off the bench for Liverpool. Nunez on the edge of the box, on his right foot, shoots, well blocked by Nathan Wood, the Southampton defender, got down on one knee, and the ball ricochets out of play, far right-hand side. It's a Liverpool throw, and we're inside the last 2 minutes, and Liverpool getting on with that throw quickly, trying to find a third goal to finish Southampton off. They've got it with McConnell shoots, that's repelled, and up it bounces to Paul Onuachu, holding on to the ball for Southampton, and then getting it to the right hand side for Sulemana, who's got a bit of time to turn and have a look and see what's on. He's now inside Liverpool's half, Kamaldeen Sulemana. He's getting away from Danns, he's extremely quick, Sulemana. Sugawara taking it on. Southampton going from left to right, trailing by 2-1. Fernandes, far post, Brereton Diaz's header right at Kelleher. Just had to move a little to his left hand side, Liverpool's Irish goalkeeper, to make a relatively routine save.
It's a more direct attack from Southampton, and the tempo and the pace of the game has certainly picked up in the second half of the game. And there's a ball into the box, could well have been an offside, but Brereton Diaz at the far post, trying to head back across goal, goes into the hands of Kelleher.
Here's Fernandes, 1-2 in midfield with Lallana. There was a late challenge from James McConnell, which out of everybody, I don't think Adam Lallana, the former Liverpool player, liked particularly. And then there's Fernandes, who was still getting back to his feet, was given the ball back when he didn't really want it because he was still trying to recover from the challenge. Gives it back to McCarthy, upfield it goes, out of play, Liverpool throw, halfway line, and now a yellow card for Liverpool's 20-year-old midfielder James McConnell, joined from Sunderland as an under-15 back in 2016, played in that EFL Cup final against Chelsea back in February for Liverpool. The champions 2-1 up here against Southampton. Last 30 seconds plus stoppage time in the swirling rain and the wind, Franny Benali, that have made conditions so difficult tonight at St Mary's.
Well, with Southampton getting that goal back from Cameron Archer, it's certainly lifted this game into more of a cup tie.
Here's Jota, support on the right hand side. Nunez wants it in the middle, so does Danns. The low shot blocked on the line. I think McCarthy was beaten, and then the follow up from Chiesa is deflected over the bar. It's going to be a corner. Southampton getting bodies in the way. They needed to do that. Chiesa so close to a Liverpool goal on his return. Liverpool have got a corner, and we're now in 6 minutes of stoppage time at 2-1.
Chiesa doing well, cutting in on his left hand foot, potentially going past Alex McCarthy, and Howard Bellis doing well on the line to clear it, and then it's Sugawara who got the second block in. The defending work to be done by Southampton. The direct balls into the box from corners and free kicks this evening have been picked up by the swirling wind, and we're going to see another long one in the box.
Yeah, Jota's corner, the punch from McCarthy, that was really authoritative from the Southampton goalkeeper. Almost got it up towards the halfway line. That's where McConnell, the Liverpool midfielder, is waiting. Now Tsimikas swings the left boot at it, closed down by Sulemana, who had to come off very early here at the weekend. Kamaldeen Sulemana, with Southampton's game plan in tatters against Tottenham. Conceded 5 first half goals, but at 3-0 inside a quarter of an hour, Russell Martin changed the shape and took Sulemana off, which, as you can imagine, he was not particularly happy about. Tsimikas takes the throw into the feet of Jayden Danns, son of Neil Danns, who you might remember from a few years ago having a great career of his own. His dad at the top level And it's another Liverpool throw. Simicast to take it from this left-hand side. They're 2-1 up here, Liverpool. And Dan's doing well, holding off his man, giving it to Nunez. Ran into traffic, the Liverpool forwards. And now Southampton try and break, but it is Brereton Diaz. There's nobody really to find. He did well just to get that ball to Onuachu. And then Adam Lallana tries to play a pass, and it's hit Onuachu. And eventually it breaks for Harwood Bellis, who sweeps it very accurately out to the left-hand side for Manning. 2-1 Liverpool, and Saints trying to mount something in these final few moments to take this game to penalties. Remember, there is no extra time. Swung from the left out towards the right, too high for Dibbling in that forward right wing position, and out for a Liverpool throw. Franny Benali.
It's a real shame from Southampton's perspective. Promising attack. Fernandes just trying to switch the ball out to Dibbling on this right hand side. They're attacking the northern wall, the noisy part of St Mary's.
And Liverpool, who have left a host of big names back in Merseyside tonight. Salah, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Diaz. None of them are part of this Liverpool squad. Here's a long ball forward. It might bounce for Fernandes for Saints. Oh, Fernandes wants the penalty. It's waved away by Simon Hooper. It was Kwanzaa, I think, alongside Fernandes, who's ended up on the ground, who was in on goal, and much of St Mary's feel that should potentially have been, well, it would have been a red card, I think, for Kwanzaa. It might have been a penalty had it been in the box as well. What are your thoughts on that, Franny?
Well, it would be very interesting to see a replay of it again, but my reaction was it was a foul, and that's just not my allegiance to Southampton, but it certainly looked it from our position here in the stand, Chris. It'd be great to see another opportunity, but you're right.
Here come Liverpool. Jota in the box, Jota on the stretch, and did that take a touch on its way behind? It did. Sugawara with the defending. It's come off the Southampton man. It's going to be a Liverpool corner, but you can hear the boos coming from St Mary's. And now, Franny, you're having the first time to review this. Long kick forward from McCarthy. They were together, weren't they? Kwanzaa and Fernandes. Did Fernandes get ahead of Gerald Kwanzaa, the Liverpool defender there?
Well, he does, because I think the arm of the defender is across and over his shoulder. He's gone down fairly easy, but the referee's right there on the position. He waves it away immediately, but it's one of those decisions that could easily have gone either way.
Here comes the Liverpool corner. Out comes McCarthy. He's got a little bit on that to keep the ball moving in the direction that it was travelling. So it's on the left wing now with Chiesa, who's scrapping to make a bit of room for himself. He can't do that, but it is going to be a Liverpool throw. And we've played 3 of the 6 minutes of stoppage time. And Liverpool not in a great rush to take this throw. And Mateus Fernandes is still shaking his head here, and he's biting his Southampton shirt in frustration. The Saints midfielder.
Exactly. It's a foul. I think it's enough for a foul. It's anywhere else on the pitch it's given, I think.
He's channeled his frustration well there, though, Fernandes, because he's nicked that ball back off Darwin Nunez. So it's going to be a Southampton throw in their right back area in stoppage time. Saints 1, Liverpool 2. If you're just joining us tonight on 5 Live, Nunez and Elliott with the Liverpool goals in the first half. The response from Cameron Archer with his goal just before the hour for Saints. Liverpool might be able to finish it here. It's over the top of the crossbar. Harvey Elliott from the edge of the box, too high. Southampton goal kick, and there might still be one chance in this game for Southampton, bottom of the Premier League, against Liverpool at the top on this 19-game unbeaten run.
Yeah, certainly in the early stages, Liverpool dominating the first half, taking that 2-0 lead, looking comfortable at half-time. As we see so often, how a goal changes a game. It's shifted the dynamics of it. It's brought the supporters to life of both teams. It's brought the players on the pitch to life as well. And Southampton have been much more in it. They've showed much more in the second half than what they did in the first.
Arne Slot not on the touchline tonight. He's right behind us, and I mean that quite literally. He's 2 rows behind us, the Liverpool manager, in the press box here at St Mary's with his laptop in front of him. I can turn around and I can see him because he's only about a metre away from me as Sugawara switches it for Southampton from the right out to the left. Here's Manning. We're in the 6th minute of stoppage time. Saints 1, Liverpool 2, so it has to happen here for Southampton if they're to get an equaliser. Kwanzaa clears it away. It's up to the halfway line. Jota's got it for Southampton, for Liverpool, trying to push it on for Nunez, who's held off his marker, Darwin Nunez. He's got options in the middle. Liverpool might be able to finish the game here. Nunez has run into some trouble. He's given it to Dans. He's got it back. He's shot low. It's wide of the post. It's a goal kick, but that is the 6 minutes of stoppage time minimum played. So this is it now for Saints. It's a goal kick, but McCarthy needs to move it quick.
Yeah, probably going to be the full-time whistle any moment, but Southampton is certainly going to look back on that incident feeling that Liverpool should have been a man down, and there it is.
Liverpool into the semi-finals of the League Cup, and for Arne Slot, a smile on his face as he is shepherded away from us, just behind us in the press area, by a couple of security guards, the Liverpool manager. He is on course perhaps for a trophy-laden season in his first campaign as Liverpool manager. Nunez and Elliott with the first half goals. Liverpool were very comfortably 2-0 up at half-time. Cameron Archer's great strike for Saints made it interesting in the second half. Plenty of fight from Southampton off the back of the departure of their manager Russell Martin at the weekend. But ultimately, Franny Benali, quality's run out, and it's the team at the top of the Premier League who've gone through to the last four.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. And Liverpool, firstly, with the changes that they've made tonight, it's worked out well for them, progressing through to the semi-finals. They've given minutes in legs to players that wouldn't normally be playing if it was going to be Slot's strongest lineup. So there's lots of positives that Liverpool will take from tonight, not just progressing in the competition. From Southampton's perspective, first half was pretty non-existent, needed to be much better in many ways. Understandably difficult circumstances that they're under with Russell Martin having left and Simon Rusk taking the team for the first time. But second half was much better. A wonderful goal from Cameron Archer. They've got to look back on what they did in the second half to try and move forward in the Premier League.
Yeah, great encouragement, I think, for Southampton. The fact that they have given some fight to Liverpool tonight, but this is a very well-oiled, slick Liverpool machine, even with all the changes tonight. And they're into the last four of the League Cup. It's finished Southampton 1, Liverpool 2.
I suppose, Franny, you have to say that Arne Slot got his team selection bang on in the end based on that.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, your team selections always get questioned if the result doesn't go your way, and it has done for Liverpool tonight. Southampton, by getting that goal back, it made it a little bit tense and nervous for Liverpool at times, and there was one or two opportunities, Onuachu's none more so, the decision that they could have got where there was potentially a red card that could have been given. Those little things have gone Liverpool's way. They've progressed in the competition, been some good performances from the players, and yeah, it's worked out well for Arne Slot.
I'm not sure it's worked out too badly for Southampton, and hear me out on that. Given we know what the focus of their season is going to be from now on, they did need something positive. They certainly got something positive tonight, didn't they?
First half they didn't, I felt. It was not a great first half from Southampton's perspective, finding themselves 2 goals down, not really laying a glove on Liverpool at that point. But then in the second half it was better. A few substitutions, a few changes, just livened it up a little bit, and then Cameron Archer's goal lifted the stadium, lifted the team themselves, and all of a sudden it put Liverpool on the back foot a little bit, and it became more of an even game. So, as you say, certainly take those positives from the second half for the rest of the campaign.